Yes.
And you begin, y'all talk a little bit about Antoine, and initially you do say it's not Antoine, correct?
Yes.
And you stick with the story that it's still this black male that you've never met before in your life at one point. Kind of stick with that initially. Then you bring up the fact that when you were at the park, there were 3 Mexican boys, and that might have had something to do with the shooting. You recall saying that?
Somewhat, yes.
You recall saying that you were being followed on your way home?
And I thought that was true.
Okay. So once you finally say, actually, it was Antoine, even within that story, it changes a lot, doesn't it? Even once you say that Antoine was the one that shot Destiny, you change your story up even within that a lot, don't you?
If that's what you want to say, yes.
Well, let me just say exactly what you said. All right, do you recall initially saying that Antoine brought a gun inside your house and shot Destiny?
Not right off, no, ma'am.
Don't recall it? Would it help you to rewatch the portion of your interview where he said that?
I guess, so you can show me the transcript like you just did.
This might be faster.
So he was already what happens?
He tried to talk. We came to the house. And when we came to the house, I told him I didn't talk to him. And he went back out something else. Did we come back to him?
He brought me back in with him.
Yes.
So this gun Kelly gave you, how long you had it?
No.
Okay, so after hearing that, would you agree with me that initially you said that Antoine came to your home, right?
After they suggested Antoine, yes, I went with that story.
Okay. Did they suggest to you that he leaves and comes back in with a gun?
That's what he said.
That's what you said, Miss Howington.
Okay.
Did you hear yourself say that? That you and Antoine are arguing? Did you hear yourself say that just now?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you hear yourself say that Antoine left and then came back in with a gun?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to the next thing you say. So then you change that story and say, actually, Antoine was there. You're still sticking with the fact that Antoine was there. But now you say that Gavin got a hold of the gun. Do you recall saying that?
Yes.
Do you recall saying that little 2-year-old Gavin had actually moved a stool from your living room area to your closet in your bedroom?
Yes.
You said that he might have even put on your high heels, right?
No. No.
Tender and objection.
The objection is she is making things up. That is not what the statement is.
Rephrase your question and refer to the interview that you want to impeach her with.
At one point, did you say that Gavin took the stool and moved it in front of your closet?
Yes.
Did you then say that he reached up and got the gun?
Yes.
When the officers asked you how that was possible, did you not say that he could have put on your high heels?
No, I said he got my high heels out of the closet.
When you're talking about him reaching the gun?
I wasn't sure how he got the gun. I just knew that he had got the gun.
Okay. So again, you said after you change it to Antoine brings a gun in, you finally do admit that it was a gun in your home that shot and killed your daughter, right? You said that Gavin climbed up in the closet and got it out of, well, you didn't say the black bag at first, did you?
I don't recall.
And then, according to your own statement at that time, you moved the stool before officers got there back into the living room, right?
I don't recall that either.
You don't recall telling officers that?
Ma'am, I was not in my right mind at that time. I had just seen my baby shoot my daughter.
Ms. Howington, have you been paying attention? Have you watched your interview here in court?
Somewhat, yes, but I don't want to remember any of this.
Well, I'm gonna have to play it for you again if you can't remember.
That's fine.
I'm gonna go back for a second. We're gonna talk about the idea. All right, Ms. Howington. You wouldn't mind. Just from here to here. Just read that to yourself. When you're done, let me know. Page 43.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now that you've read this, you agree with me that when the officers asked you how Gavin got hold of the gun in the closet, that you pulled, here you say a chair. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
Yes.
And you said, in the closet because he puts on my high heels. Correct?
Yes.
So in fact, you did say that.
I don't recall, but yes, ma'am, it's there.
Okay. So let's fast forward just a little bit here to your interview on September the 17th. Again, you maintained at that point that Gavin shot Destiny, right?
That's the truth, ma'am.
But then you changed it up even a little bit more and you said that you were in the kitchen and that Antoine, in fact, was not there. Is that right?
I don't recall, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm telling you, I was not in my right mind. Some things I remember and some things I just don't.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna play a portion of this clip and then you tell me if you remember saying this.
Give out I didn't actually turn it on, but it was on the different I just walked into the door and he was screaming and hollering about Tally, begging, like, I don't know what to do now against Tally, but he got to screaming and hollering about Tally, and we got to arguing, and we kind of tussled a little bit, and I asked him to please leave. And he's like, I don't know what you're gonna do, you can call these companies, you can call the police, blah, blah, blah. So he left, and then when I went to the kitchen, Gavin went into my room, and Destiny was laying on the couch watching Netflix. And I came back and sat down, and I was getting shot. Was it?
Alright, so let's break that down just a little bit. So in this version of events, you say that Antoine and you get into a disagreement. Did you hear that?
Yes, ma'am.
You say that you tussle a little bit, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you say that Antoine leaves, right?
I think that I was confused and everything was coming together from what happened on the 12th.
Right, but in this statement, you would agree with me, but you just watched, you said that Antoine leaves, didn't you?
Yes.
And you said that after Antoine leaves, that's when Gavin gets the gun. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that you're in the kitchen of your home, correct?
Yes.
And that's when Gavin shot Destiny, right?
Yes.
All right, let's go to the next version. In that one, again, you now put Antoine back in the house. Do you recall this version? When Antoine and you get into it and he takes the gun from you, do you recall telling officers that?
Yes.
Okay, so now, after you previously said that he's left the house, you put him back in the house, and you say that that Antoine took the gun from you, right?
Yes.
And that at that point in time, you said that that's when the gun is shot, right?
Yes.
So now it's not Gavin once again.
I don't ever want it to be Gavin, ma'am. To live with this, do you not understand that?
I'm asking you what you said, okay? Again, you're blaming Antoine here. You're making up a whole lot of facts.
Exactly.
I want to be clear about this. The officers are not the one saying that Antoine's leaving, coming, going, none of that, correct? It's you that's making up these facts, right?
They brought up Antoine first, and I just agreed with it.
Okay, they brought up that he might have been the shooter first, right?
Correct.
They didn't give you all these additional facts, did they?
No, ma'am.
They didn't put all that in your head, did they?
No, ma'am.
They also asked you multiple times whether or not you were the shooter during your first interview.
I don't recall that.
You don't recall them ever saying, did you accidentally shoot your child, or we think you might have shot your child? You don't ever remember them saying that?
No, ma'am.
We will come back to that as well. All right. Now let's talk about the gun. Ms. Huntington, you just testified a moment ago that you received that gun from Callie a few months before this, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you say 2 to 3 months, maybe?
Around about, yes, ma'am.
And you also just testified that within 2 to 3 months, you had never gotten that gun out before September the 12th, right?
Before September the 12th?
For September the 12th, when Callie and Antoine are arguing, I think you testified that you didn't have anything to do with that gun before then.
Correct.
You had it out.
Correct.
You had kept it in a bag in the top of your closet.
Correct.
Okay. Was Gavin in your room whenever you took that gun out of the bag on the 12th?
No.
Okay.
So how did he know where to go get the gun? Bingo card.
Was this the first gun you'd ever owned?
Yes, ma'am.
Prior to September 14th of 2019, had anybody ever told you that maybe you were storing guns improperly?
Earlier testimony shows the little boy could not have brought the stool back with the gun in his hand to shoot his sister. Please check out earlier live stream. They have pictures to show that the stool was moved. So therefore, the child could not have carried the stool back, jumped on it, got the gun, jumped off the stool, drug the stool back with the gun too, and then shoot his sister. That's the proof she did this. Testimony, everybody. And you've got to watch the testimony of the black cop. Man, that defense attorney, he tried to beat that cop down, but he held his ass. He held his own testimony. I think his name is Warlock, Detective Warlock. He held his own in that testimony. He gave that defense attorney a run for his damn money today. All right, so now it's ending, I guess. I came in on the tail end of this, everybody.
General, I think you were not asked the question appropriately, but we discussed, and I would not permit the state to go into, because it's premised upon hearsay. If it's coming in a text message, I guess I thought they were going to call Mr. Oliver, but they have not chosen not to. But the question, my notes are correct. The text message says what date that he is texting about. August the 4th of 2019, he's sending a text. This homicide occurred on September the 14th of 2019. Mr. Oliver is sending a text to Ms. Howington complaining about the fact that she has left a firearm on her nightstand.
Okay.
I'll allow that to come in via the officer because it's hearsay. If the state had chosen to call Mr. Oliver, we would have had a separate discussion. But Ms. Howington put this directly at issue, direct examination, not cross, direct examination, when she testified that that gun was put up in the bag and it was not touched again thereafter until the 12th. It's directly at issue.
And Judge, tell me how that makes it not hearsay.
The question is, do they have a good faith basis to ask if she had left the gun on the nightstand?
What,
And yes, they
based
do.
on the text.
Correct.
And have you heard from Mr. Oliver? He called
Question.
him a nutcase. He's an abuser and a liar. So how do we take this text? Because she said she didn't move the gun, leave it on a nightstand. The liar can testify.
I'm not going to debate this.
A liar just testified. How about that?
Directly
Sounds stupid.
issued by her statement about that gun and not touching it. That text directly contradicts.
Now they can, it directly contradicts it if it's true.
Exactly.
It's a statement out of court by a non-testifying witness.
Exactly. The question is, do they have a good faith basis to ask the question? They have a text message which she never contradicts. I did not allow them to put this in their case in chief.
Under
It's coming
Crawford, how does she get the right to cross-examine her accuser? If you let a text message from a man who they have
I
under
didn't
subpoena,
let it in.
who is, oh, you're ready to. It's
You
this.
made it relevant.
No, I didn't, Judge. I did not make it relevant because I don't believe it's true.
And I said you did.
And so
It's
Crawford
coming
does
in.
not exist
It's
anymore.
coming in.
Judge, how do I cross-examine that?
It's coming in, Mr. Whalen.
All right. Thank the Lord. Amen.
You left
Bring
that
it in.
gun on the nightstand.
They have the right to call that witness.
They may choose to do that, but right now the question is, do they have the right to cross-examine her? And I have ruled that they do.
And they can, oh, well, here's the problem. She to ask a question, were you told by someone else that you were improperly storing a handgun?
And that's not the proper form to ask the question. I sustain it as to that, but they have the right to inquire. She put it at issue in her direct examination.
And what else other hearsay are they gonna get to speak loudly from the stand and then say, oh, well, maybe we didn't ask the right question?
Whalen, it is late. I'm not going to argue with you. I have ruled. If I am wrong, the Court of Criminal Appeals will tell me so. It's coming in. Line the jury back up.
Woo! Go judge.
Only the question, did you ever leave your gun on the nightstand?
They have the right to ask the question, have you left your gun on the nightstand? That's what the text is complaining about. On or about August or whatever date that was, because that is within 2 months of when this occurred, when she said she got the gun and hadn't touched it.
Well, we know she touched it because if eyewitnesses say she was outside with the gun days before arguing with the baby daddy. So she did touch the gun before the 14th of September. How about that? So will they have the eyewitness come in to testify they saw her out in the yard arguing with the gun, threatening the baby daddy? Checkmate. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL continuation. Robin Howard accused of murdering a 5-year-old child in 2019. What will the jury say? This should be a quick trial. This should be a very quick trial. If they don't have any other witnesses to testify on her behalf or against her. Next live stream pertaining to KAYLA Montgomery. She's coming out of prison, everybody. You won't want to miss that live stream.
Wait, call from state or the teams. All right, no good. You were recognized for the call.
Yes,
Okay,
Iffy.
all right, so Ms. Harrington, on August the 4th of 2019, did you leave that gun laying out on the nightstand in your home? And let's talk about some of the statements you made as to how you obtained that gun. All right. So initially, you said that. Let's see here. Well, let's just talk about the gun in general when you're being interviewed. Do you recall once you are confronted with the fact that a gun was found outside your house? Do you remember during your first interview when officers confronted you with that fact?
Not right off, no ma'am.
Do you remember being confronted at all during that interview about the fact that a gun was found outside of your home?
I assume so, yes.
Okay. Do you remember specifically being asked whether or not the gun found outside your home was the gun that was used to shoot and kill your daughter?
No ma'am.
So the gun that we found outside, that Kelly gave you, we testified that it's not gonna match anything with this.
Yeah.
Have you ever used a shotgun?
No.
So you don't know how to use it.
No.
Alright, so you just heard yourself there, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So would you agree with me that you told officers initially that the gun found outside your home was not the gun used to shoot and kill your daughter?
I just seen it. Yes, ma'am.
That is what you said, right?
Yes.
You then switch it up a little bit. You recall finally admitting that that was in fact the gun that was used to shoot your daughter at some point. Do you remember saying that?
I guess. Yes, ma'am.
Another lie.
Do you remember also saying that Antoine wiped it off?
Not right off, no, ma'am.
Another lie. More lies. Stay woke. Why so many lies? Now these are extra lies besides the lies told earlier in testimony.
I'm just asking, if it is, does it is? If it's the weapon you used now, and you took it outside, tell me the truth. Is it the murder weapon? Because I think we've got ballistics, and we're gonna be able to take it. I want you to hear from your mouth, I want to hear from the horse's mouth. Do you know this lady?
Yes, and you want to do.
Okay. You heard yourself just then. Would you agree with me that at this point you've now admitted that the gun found outside your home was in fact the weapon and that Antoine wiped it off, right?
That's what I said. Yes, ma'am.
Do you initially remember telling officers that you had no idea that there was even a gun outside of your house? Do you recall that?
I will continue to say the same thing, ma'am. I was trying to protect my son, and you just can't accept that this was an accident. You just can't accept it.
Ma'am, listen. My question was, you initially told the officers that you
They don't
had
have to
no
accept it.
idea about a gun outside of your house, didn't you?
Ma'am, I was not in my right
Ma'am?
mind. I had just seen my baby shoot my daughter. Do you not understand?
I hear what you're saying, but my question to you was, did you initially tell the officers that you had no idea about any sort of gun outside of your home?
Then why lie on innocent people?
That's what I said, ma'am.
Why lie on innocent people if your child shot your child? Would that be right to send somebody to prison because your baby shot your baby? Makes no sense. A child can't be prosecuted at 2. That's why this makes no sense.
It was surprising you told me the gun was found outside the house. So it was surprising.
Standing up because she knows she's lying.
Again, right here, you tell the officers that you don't have a gun, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You tell the officers that it would surprise you if a gun was found outside your home, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
But seeing as how you were the one that put the gun out there, that's not true, is it?
I was trying to protect my son. I was not in my right mind.
And at that time, you had also asked multiple people to go and pick up that gun, had you not?
Because I did not want it to come back to Gavin. Do you not understand what I'm saying, ma'am?
Ms. Howington, my question is, at that point in time, you had asked multiple people to come and pick up that gun.
Exactly.
And put outside your home.
Exactly. Implicate others.
Gavin.
Maybe it's a yes or a
So
no.
how's that right?
Ask multiple people to get that gun from outside your house.
She's heartless.
Ma'am.
She's heartless. She's heartless.
I think she has, but if you want to, again, explain.
She's heartless. Willing to
I was trying to protect
set up other people.
and nobody wants to accept that.
Well, why would they?
What would you do?
I wouldn't set up somebody else.
Can
I wouldn't set up somebody else. I wouldn't. It's bullshit. She's using her child as a scapegoat because she killed her kid.
All right.
Look at this. Look at this witch.
Again, you had sent these text messages to multiple individuals, but you had because your phone had been broken and run underwater, you didn't actually know whether or not those individuals were able to go get the gun, did you?
What fool go get a gun?
I have no idea, ma'am.
So their prints could be on there.
Did you receive any correspondence back?
She's heartless, man.
Multiple
This
text
bitch is
messages
heartless.
asking people to go get the gun?
Not that I know of.
And so until officers confronted you with the fact that a gun was found outside your house, you didn't know whether it was there or whether somebody actually was able to go get it, did you?
Yes.
Wow, wow, wow. This
Is this
bitch,
the first gun you've ever had?
this bitch is ruthless. This, if you pay attention, she wants somebody to touch that gun, so that could be the perpetrator. She has no,
Is this the first
Soul.
firearm you ever had?
she's soulless.
May we approach her?
She was fishing from day one on that night. This leads me to believe she set this up deliberately to murder her kid. Because when you think about it, why would I want somebody to go out here and pick up a gun that I put outside? And then I told numerous versions of who had the gun, who shot the kid, and then at the end, I finally said, oh, well, my kid did it. She said her kid because she had exhausted all measures besides saying, I killed my kid. This bitch has no soul. Real talk.
Do you recall when, again, when you're being interviewed, do you recall at one point in time, Officer Wardlaw had said something to the effect of, don't you think as a parent to keep a gun safe?
Exactly.
Not right off, no, ma'am.
I need you to just read the green highlighted portion to there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after reading that, you agree with me that at some point during your interview, Ms. Mayor Wardlaw says, don't you think it's your responsibility as a parent to keep your gun safe, right? He asked you that question.
Yes.
And you agreed with him and said, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
You agreed that it is your responsibility to keep your gun safe in your home, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the story that you just told here today. You said that Jay comes to your house at, what time was it again? I can't remember. Off the top of my head. A few minutes before, let's see. All right, so we've seen the video now where the individual is in your home for 63 seconds. Did you see that video?
Yes, ma'am.
So you are now saying that that is an individual by the name of Jay, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And they enter your home at 8:46:43. Would you agree with me?
Yes, ma'am.
And again, this is today in this courtroom on that stand is the very first time in almost 5 years that you have ever said that Jay, you've identified the person that came into your home, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that after Jay leaves, you then walk out and move your vehicle, right?
Yes, ma'am.
You then make sure that your children are okay before going back outside to smoke. Is that what you just testified to?
Yes, ma'am.
Now again, is this the first time here in this courtroom after almost 5 years, is this the first time that you're telling this version of events?
In the courtroom, yes.
A lie, you
Tell
mean?
the officers the version that you just told on that stand here today. Have you ever told the officers that?
No.
What are we speaking of?
That the version of events and how Destiny got shot, what you just testified to on direct examination, did you ever tell the officers that version of events?
Break that down, be a little more specific.
Did you ever tell the officers before today, or did you ever tell
Oh, my
anyone other than
God.
your attorney, I guess, before today, that you saw Gavin shoot Destiny as you were walking in your house?
Yes.
You told the officers that?
No, she did not. No, she did not.
Officers, you said anyone.
Okay, but again, this case is a long time, is it not, Ms. Howington?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is the very first time that you are telling the version of events that you just told. You never told the officers in the multiple times that you were interviewed that version of events, did you?
I did tell them that Gavin shot Destiny.
Okay.
at the end.
You never told them that you weren't even inside your home. when the shot
Exactly.
occurred.
Come on with it, honey.
Not that I know of.
So one more lie.
So
It's unbelievable.
Is that on September the 12th, Antoine took your gun and just disassembled it, I guess, in the front yard? Is that your statement?
He took it away from me, yes, ma'am, and took it apart and threw it on the ground.
And Callie put it back together,
Correct.
and you said that Callie put it up,
Yes.
and you didn't see it again
Correct.
until you say you saw Gavin shoot Destiny.
I didn't say I saw it. I saw Gavin shoot Destiny.
So you did say that. Never mind. Okay. So.
But she couldn't say that at the
we're
beginning.
talking about a 2-day span
This bitch is sick.
where you apparently don't know where in your house this gun is, correct?
I didn't normally just go check to see where a gun was. So no.
So you don't, so what you're saying is that prior to leading up to this event, you didn't keep tabs on where the gun was in your home?
I knew where it was, where I put it when I put it there.
But again, if your testimony is that somebody else put it away, you didn't think to check to make sure that it was in a safe location
I trusted him.
in your house with your 2 small children. You didn't
Exactly.
think to go and check to make sure that it was in a safe location.
Well, I don't
She
think that
hasn't. She
question
said
has to
she
be.
trusted him, so.
Answer that question, Ms. Allen.
Well, earlier they say the bag was hung up on the back of the door, so
So again, in your home where your 2 small children live, in the 2 days after you think Callie puts this gun away, you didn't actually go check to see where he put it.
No, ma'am.
You didn't ask him where he put it.
No, ma'am.
You didn't ask him if he put a loaded gun up with the safety off.
No, ma'am.
You didn't ask him if he put a loaded gun up with the safety off that was cocked and ready to shoot.
No, ma'am.
And you would agree with me that if 2-year-old Gavin found this gun within the 3 minutes that you're outside, it had to be somewhere pretty readily accessible to him, correct?
exactly.
I've
Exactly.
seen it with my own eyes till the 14th.
So for 2 days, you don't lay
Well-
off on your gun, but in 3 minutes, your 2-year-old found it.
Yes, ma'am.
You're loaded, cocked, no safety on gun, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And I guess just to clear things up, I just want to be sure that we're all clear. Antoine was not at your house on September the 14th of 2019, was he? That
No,
night?
ma'am.
He was nowhere, well, he was not there, right?
Correct.
You and him did not get into a tussle.
I told you earlier that I feel like everything was melting together in my mind because I was under so much stress.
You remember in your first interview telling the officers about the events of September the 12th, do you know?
Yes.
Okay, so in fact, you did remember those events that day, right?
From the 12th?
When you're being interviewed, you told the officers about the events of September the 12th, correct?
Yes.
So that was separate. And then you go on to again, in 2 separate interviews, continue to say that Antoine was at your house that night, right?
And I also told you, ma'am, I was not thinking clearly.
So you didn't know who was in your house then, but today you do?
Woo.
After looking at things and talking, some things I have recollected and some things I haven't.
So again, immediately following something that you witnessed with your own eyes, you were so unsure about events that you put people in your home that weren't even there. Is that
Exactly.
what you're saying?
I guess.
But you had at least enough sense to text people and tell them that you had hid the gun outside.
Exactly. Bingo
Trying
part.
to protect my son.
So she only has selective memory.
You just testified that it's hard for you to remember all the things that happened that night. did you not?
This
Yes.
has us a
But
trip.
you remembered that you hid that gun in a bush by your air conditioner, did you not? When you texted those people to come and get it, you certainly remembered that, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
To protect my son.
I'm gonna need a yes or a no, ma'am. You
Yes.
remember that, because that's what you put in the text messages, right?
After I seen the text messages, yes.
Okay, so you got that part, that was fine, but you can't remember, immediately after the shooting, you couldn't remember who was in your house?
Right.
Immediately after,
Correct. When you're being interviewed, you say Antoine was in your house.
Can we clarify when we're going to?
It's been asked and answered.
Okay, now again, the story that you just testified to, you said that you were outside, where were you, on your porch?
I was walking in the door with my hand on the door when I seen flash of light from the gun.
And so was Gavin in that second living room?
Yes.
And so you weren't actually in the room when he shot, correct?
No.
Now, you do understand, you've heard the expert testify about gunshot residue. You heard that testimony?
Yes, ma'am.
You do understand that gunshot residue was found on your clothing, correct?
Wow.
And I
Damn.
assumed that it came from when I was trying to help my daughter. Do you not understand?
Let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about you trying to help your daughter, okay? You say that you rendered aid to her. How did you do that?
I was talking to her, saying her name. I got a towel. I prayed.
Again, you've heard the testimony of the officers who were on scene, have you not?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Allington, you didn't have a drop of blood on you. So how were you rendering aid to your
Woo!
daughter?
Come on with it, DA. Hot damn.
I didn't really see a whole lot of blood on the front of her until we looked at that video or whatever the pictures. I didn't even know that there was that much blood on the couch.
You saw the front of her shirt, right? That had to be cut open? You
Yes,
saw that it had blood all over it, didn't you?
yes.
Okay, so it's
It
your,
didn't have blood all over it, no. It just was like right here. When it happened, that's what I seen.
so you said that you rendered aid while you were on the phone with 911, is that right?
Yes, I kept asking them, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? And they didn't tell me.
Was that before or after, again, while you're on
She
the
didn't
phone
touch
with
that little girl.
911, is that before or
It's bullshit.
after you're outside hiding the weapon that was just used?
Gunpowder on your shirt.
With 911.
No blood on your hands.
Gun outside.
But you also just testified that while you were on
Didn't
phone
wrap the
with
wound.
911, that you were rendering aid to your daughter.
Come on now.
I'm just trying to figure out how it was that you were hiding a gun and rendering aid to your daughter.
I did not hide a gun, ma'am. I just threw it out there.
But again, that's not my question. My question is, at what point, when you're on the phone with 911
Exactly.
and you are taking the gun outside and throwing it in the bush, when did you render aid to your daughter?
Right after. I did not want the gun to be in there because I didn't want it to cause any more harm.
So you didn't render
You
aid.
didn't want to get in trouble, did you?
Exactly. That's the
I'm
issue.
sitting here right now, ma'am.
Again, that's not my question, Ms. Hamilton. My question is, from your very first statement, you said that the reason you took that gun outside is because you didn't want to get in trouble.
Exactly. Say that.
If I get in trouble, I can't take care of Gavin.
Ms. Howington, my question is that what you said to officers that night? That the reason you took that gun outside is because you yourself did not want to get in trouble?
I assume so, yes.
Okay. Now, your attorney asked you about this. I won't go into it a lot, but I do want to ask. Now, you've talked a lot about this rape that occurred in Bristol, right?
It was in Kingsport.
In Kingsport. I apologize. I'm from Kingsport. I should have known that. Again, are you aware that the individual in that case was never charged with rape?
Oh my goodness.
You're aware that that individual only pled guilty to filing a false police report?
Wow.
I assume so. I didn't know that, no.
And you also testified a minute ago that you had a failure to appear for a speeding ticket, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, wow,
You wrote
wow.
a statement, gave it to
Yes.
You wrote that you had a failure to appear from an assault charge from when you lived in Bristol, correct?
Not that I know of, no ma'am.
You don't recall it? You don't recall writing that?
Oh,
You don't
shit.
recall saying that on 2018, you was court.
It's getting deep.
You received.
That's not.
She tells everybody she's been raped, but she didn't go to court for the charge? How does that make any sense?
Rape cases.
Okay.
Wow.
It's your testimony though that it was a speeding ticket, not an assault charge.
Yes.
So you
Oh,
did 28 days
speed-
of community service for a speeding ticket.
Oh, speeding
Is that
ticket,
testimony?
excuse me.
No, up there, you do 30 days of community service for any failure to appear.
The officer that we're talking about, this was not, this was the person who was responsible for transporting people to and from community service, right?
And overseeing us.
Okay. Not a detective, anything like that. This was a person who is a transport officer.
I have no idea.
Ooh, Lord.
About his PTSD. You saw in the video that you have a lot of medication that you take. What medications do you take for PTSD?
Prozac, Buciprone, hydroxyzine, several others. It's just a few of them.
Do you ever sell your medication?
No, ma'am?
You heard the testimony, Mr. Joe Keys, right?
Yes, ma'am?
And you heard him testify that he had purchased,
She's probably a doper herself.
right?
Yes, ma'am?
And in fact, you see the text messages from your phone. You remember these text messages?
Yes, ma'am?
Do you remember that literally within the minutes we texted
Lord.
he's texting you about pills, right?
He's texting me about pills.
Correct, right? He's texting you about pills. None of these, that's why none of the pills that you're telling him he was on your prescription.
I have PTSD. They don't prescribe pain pills for PTSD.
But you still can find somebody to buy your pills, honey. Stop playing.
Even though you weren't prescribing.
Yes.
Okay.
Same instruction from a couple days ago, ladies and gentlemen. The fact that Ms. Hamilton may or may not have done this is relevant for other purposes, but you may not assume that this is in some way suggestive of a propensity to break the law. Do you understand the distinction? Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you.
Well, she's a liar. She's lied. She's told too many lies. So I'm not gonna believe her child shot her other child. Why would I do that? Why would I believe that? Right here in Knoxville, Tennessee, darling.
Go to my house, driveway, get my gun out of the bush of the air conditioner, dad shot Destiny, then come to UT, and I got you for free. Are you referring to pills at that point when you said I got you for free?
I assume so.
Would you agree that people who sell drugs sometimes have guns for protection?
If she knows.
If you know, would you agree with that statement or disagree with that statement?
I don't know.
Yes, you do. Stop this bullshit, lady. You know damn well a lot of people have guns that sell drugs. Now stop it. This is ridiculous. This case is so ridiculous. This is a repeat of Harmony Montgomery, just nonsense, lies, storytelling. Nobody can tell the truth about nothing. Just a bunch of fucking misfits. Hello, Cindy from Kingsport. Do you know this lady? She's from Kingsport.
Your attorney asked you about something that was said about a forensic interview. Remember, you recall your
Well,
attorney
she's
asking
from
about that?
Kingsport.
Yes, ma'am?
You said that you were scared because you weren't sure what that meant.
I mean, yeah.
So, if the officer told you that it was literally just an interview, your testimony is that that scared you enough to not tell the truth that night.
Right.
You just showed me pictures of you guys or someone taking pictures of my son while he was crying. So yes, I don't think that was anything that he needed to go through.
And just to clarify, you didn't see pictures of me taking pictures of your son.
Someone,
And you're saying pictures of your son?
yes, the ones that you showed.
Child health and understanding this day, you're not testifying. That's the next question.
Your Honor, I'm talking about the interview.
Well,
that
Rudy, if
night.
you did, turn yourself in. Get out my chat.
Officer Riddle mentioned the forensic interview.
Fucking
That interview didn't
nonsense.
occur that night, so it can't be that.
That's the next question.
If you
Okay,
killed
so
the baby, turn
the fact
yourself
that the
in.
officer said that your son would be interviewed scared you enough to where you had to lie that night.
I assume so, yes.
And you recall the officers telling you multiple times that they don't take 2-year-olds to jail. correct?
Exactly.
It didn't matter. Those pictures proved that no one really cared. They were taking pictures of my baby while he was crying.
What pictures are you referring to, Ms. Hamilton?
She's just making up one thing after the
How am I
other.
supposed to get him?
She's just as worse as the
Where was he
defense
when he
attorney.
was crying?
I don't know.
Well, you didn't sue the Knoxville Police Department for taking pictures of your baby. They're probably just taking pictures in general.
I'm referring to the very first interview.
Dear God, somebody please help me. I'm drowning. She's just as worse as the defense attorney. Just talking in circles. Excuse me. Deflection, deflection, deflection. Woe is me. Got a rape charge, and he hasn't even been charged with the rape. So what happened there? Going to do more information on this rape charge because I smell a rat because she lies a lot. So did she lie on this cop? I don't know.
Where your son is just being measured against the wall.
He looks scared to death, and I'm pretty sure that he's crying.
Look at this picture. Right
Yes,
there.
auto hoax.
Okay, but who's to say the time frame of that? The first one, he looked scared to death and crying.
In this picture, you're saying that your son looks terrified, right?
Yes.
So this just, the only thing is a tape measure being held up beside him, right? For that reason, because your son got a tape measure held up beside him, you said that you had to lie about what happened. You had to protect him from a tape measure.
No, that's not what I said, ma'am.
Okay. Are you aware that the reason that we had to take those photographs of Gavin is because you lied and said that he got the gun by using a
I did
stool?
not lie.
You didn't lie when you said
I
that Gavin.
assumed that Gavin got a stool because I was not sure how he got.
Well, that's what you should have said. I assume he got the stool, but he couldn't have gotten the stool and drug it back
That you saw
with the gun.
at your closet.
No kid can do that, 2-year-old.
Officers got there.
Not right off, no.
No kid is going to do all that and run back with the stool and the gun.
If you said that,
Save their
would that
mother.
be a lie? If you said in your first interview that you saw the at your closet and that you moved it before officers got there to help Destiny, would that have been a lie?
I don't recall that.
Coming back to that one as well.
Yeah.
Come back to it.
Well, the stool wasn't there, everybody in the chat. When detectives got there, the stool was not.
Do you remember when you went back to the house after
So
you
she's
had
lying.
interviewed and the officers put the stool there?
From the pictures,
That you don't remember ever going back to your house?
I was not in my right mind, ma'am.
This is live, baby. This is the second part of the testimony. After the cop. For everybody in the chat, the stool was not at the closet when they went there to go to the closet. So somebody moved the stool allegedly.
You can make a mistake, but I would think that that would be, right?
So who moved the stool? This is all a setup. Ain't nobody stupid. Because nobody has proof a stool was ever there. Now she's saying she was outside when he shot the sister. Well, then how was he shoot if you're fighting the boyfriend outside? This makes no sense.
We'll find the one where I'm talking about where you specifically say that you moved the the stool before officers get there, but even watching that, do you recall at any point in time saying that he got the stool and drug it up there?
Because she's lying.
I assume that's what happened.
There was no stool.
Okay, so your testimony here today, under oath, is that you never said that you saw him with your own eyes get that stool and that you physically moved that stool back before the police got there.
I do not recall that move.
Pay attention to the details, everybody. If you didn't know, the stool was never at the closet when detectives went to survey the situation. Just so you know.
Reading those first 4 lines.
So she's making all this up as she goes along.
After reading that, you did in fact tell investigator Wardlaw that prior to officers arriving on scene the night of September 14th, that you physically moved the stool back to the kitchen, right? Or the living room area, right?
That's what it says, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, in fact, you didn't assume, because here you're saying that you moved it.
Yes. There were 2 stools under a table when they first took pictures, everybody.
Okay, your testimony here today is that you assumed that Gavin got the stool, correct?
Yes.
But are you saying also that you never physically witnessed the stool in your closet?
Get a life, Brenda.
I don't recall.
But you just read what you said the night of the shooting. You just read that portion of your interview, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I was not in my right mind.
You told investigator Wardlaw not only did you see the stool in your closet, but that you physically moved it before officers got back, correct?
That's what it says, yes, ma'am.
That's what you said, Miss Howington, did you not?
I assume so, yes.
And then again, from the clip that we played a minute ago, second interview, you admit even then that you lied. You said that was not true about the stool, correct?
I told you I was not in my right mind.
My question to you was, in that clip that we just saw, you admitted that you had lied about the stool.
That's not true. The clip said I can make a mistake. There's a difference between a mistake and a lie.
She can answer the question.
Did you lie about the stool in your first interview?
I don't recall, ma'am.
So did you move it?
Not that I recall.
Somebody moved the stool because the stools were under the table when they first walked into the house. There are pictures to show the stools under the table. If there's only 2, checkmate. So all this is made up. The point is, if you lie about one thing, you'll lie about another. She's told numerous lies during the investigation. So there's no way I'm going to sit here and believe her child shot the daughter. Why would I believe that when you've lied so many times? You hid the gun. You tried to damage your phone. You tried to get somebody to take your phone at the hospital, a random stranger. Who does that? You tried to get the guy who buys pills from you to come pick up the gun outside in the bushes that you're seen on video taking the gun outside. What you want to do, set him up? This woman cannot be trusted. She had no business with children.
I do want to talk about this last statement that you made. Not the one today, but the one you made in the second interview. Again, where you're saying that the 17th? Yes, September 17th, 2019. You recall that even after you had maintained for a while that it was Gavin, again, you go back to you and Anton fighting over the gun, right?
I assume so.
Okay. Do you recall saying that or no?
No, ma'am.
You don't recall changing your story once again, even after you had told, you maintained that it had been Gavin. You don't remember saying again that it wasn't Gavin.
No, ma'am.
So we'll play it, but if I was stated that this was the very last statement that you gave to police officers before you came in today and testified on the stand, you actually don't blame Gavin in the last one.
Why would I? I do not want him to live with the fact that he shot his sister for the rest of his life.
But you don't mind somebody else going to prison for allegedly killing your kid. That's a lie.
Statement to officers.
This is
that
stupid.
You and Antoine, who we now know was not even in the home that night, were in a fight when Destiny was shot. Do you remember making that statement?
No, ma'am.
Was Antoine already there down?
The order said
When I said I want you to tell me stuff.
Rough life.
You need to tell me that.
he's not gonna go out already. And I asked Destiny what she wanted to do, he kept trying to interfere. And so, and he don't remember anything, so that was a problem right there. Anything you have to do that he could find a problem with is a problem. So he don't get under his feet first off, so he started out shit too. And
Thank you all for joining me. This is live number 2.
I thought he was leaving, he went to the living room, so I was like, please leave, he didn't leave. And I go, oh, I felt like it's right, because I didn't know what the hell he's doing with him. I mean, he's giving me free number.
And I bet she's got a boyfriend right now. He's been sitting in the courtroom the past couple of days. I didn't see him every day.
Just in the black door, you got it out.
Okay, let's talk about that. So here, again, you've now changed your story yet again and said that Gavin didn't do it, but you've also put the gun in the black bag on the back of your door, right?
There's a nail on the back door. But no, I don't recall any of that. That's what you have to understand.
Ms. Harrington, is that not you on that video?
Yes,
So you said what you said, right?
not in my right mind.
Again, the last statement that you
Hey,
gave
Hagen.
was that you and Antoine were fighting and that he tried to get the gun from you and it went off, correct?
That's what we heard, ma'am.
Ms. Harrington, are you aware that based on your statements that Antoine could have been charged with first-degree murder?
Exactly.
Trying to protect.
Exactly.
Ms.
Antoine
Howington.
has tortured me.
Ms.
to the point
Howington.
of-
So what? So what?
My question to you was,
She's willing to set up anybody. She's a dog.
Explain.
She is a dog.
you do understand that based on your statements, that Antoine could have been arrested that night and charged with first-degree murder,
I was
correct?
trying to protect my son. The detectives
Ms.
brought.
Howington, I need you to say yes or no to my question first, please.
You can explain if you feel the need to.
So, again, just a yes or a no. Do you understand that based on your statement to the police on the night that your daughter was shot, that Antoine could have been arrested and charged with first-degree murder?
I guess, yes.
You
Never
get-
thought about it.
You didn't think about that. When
Hey,
you were
what did she
blaming him for
say?
the death of your daughter and he wasn't even there, you just didn't think about
Oh
it.
my God, are you serious?
Not first.
But you
I
ran
was
with
trying
the
to
story.
protect my son. Antoine did not matter. He tortured me to the point where I was in the hospital. Antoine did not matter.
So she's basically telling you she's willing to lie and set up anybody for the death of her child.
That the police put Antoine in your mind.
Wow,
They didn't
wow,
put
wow.
the extra facts in your mind that you made up throughout your interview, did they?
Depends on which facts we're speaking of.
They didn't tell you that you and him got into a tussle in your archway, did they?
No, ma'am?
They didn't say that you and him were in a fight and Gavin grabbed the gun, did they?
No, ma'am?
You were the first one to say that, weren't you?
After they brought him up,
After they brought,
Antoine up.
you were the first one to say Gavin was the shooter, correct? The police didn't do that, did they?
I don't recall.
Okay. They didn't say that Antoine went and got the gun from your closet, did they? You
recall that either, ma'am.
Well, if that's what's on your interview, would that be accurate? You
Yes,
say
ma'am.
that Antoine went and got the gun from your closet, would that be an accurate statement or an inaccurate statement?
I guess accurate.
It would be accurate, Ms. Howington, you just testified he wasn't there.
So what are we getting at, ma'am?
If you talked about the fact that Antoine, you made up this whole story that Antoine went and got the gun from your closet and all this stuff, but now we know he wasn't even there, was he?
She said,
No, he was not there. I was
She-
trying to
she's
protect
a
my
trip.
son.
she
You
is a
cannot
trip.
Accept that, ma'am. You cannot accept it.
She doesn't have to accept it. You dodo bird. She doesn't have to accept it. You've lied in through the entire investigation. Who's going to believe any version you give after you've lied on all these different people? There's no proof your child got the gun.
Asked by the investigators why you tampered with evidence. First interview, page 41. From your first interview, do you recall being specifically asked why you would tamper with evidence?
No.
Well, I bet she didn't mention her son.
Look there at the bottom, highlighted portion, and the bottom. There, I guess it's not the bottom.
That's all you see is deflection, deflection, deflection.
Why you would tamper with evidence? You said you didn't want to get in trouble, correct?
I
Exactly.
get in trouble. I cannot take care of Gavin. He had just done something that was terrible. So he needs his mother.
Well, where is Gavin now? I bet he ain't with you.
Didn't want to get in trouble.
Yes.
Well, where is
Did
Gavin
not
now?
say that you were trying to protect your son. Right?
He's not with her, I bet.
Ma'am.
Nothing further.
She's as worse as a defense attorney. This case is ridiculous. Everybody, this defense attorney blames the
Just
cops.
could ask you, isn't it true that Mr. Wardlaw told you it's your responsibility as a parent to keep the gun safe? Is that what she said?
Yes, sir.
And where did you keep the gun?
In the black bag in my closet.
Did you think that was keeping the gun safe?
Yes, sir.
And let's clear up something else. She asked you about, did you ever tell them that Gavin got into the top of that closet by wearing your high-heeled shoes?
No.
Did you tell them that you knew he could climb up there because he gets up there because he wears your high-heeled shoes?
No, that wasn't the only place that high heels were.
Had he done that in the past, worn your high-heeled shoes?
Yes.
Were you suggesting to them that he was wearing those on?
Well, he wasn't wearing high heels on no bar stool.
Was he wearing high-heeled shoes at any time on September 14th?
No, sir.
He's got to be one mean 2-year-old. He can climb up that ladder with high heels on.
Ask Callie if he left that loaded cocked weapon somewhere where the kids could get it. You hear that?
Pinto.
Did you know that gun was loaded on September 14th?
No lockbox.
Did you know it was cocked on September 14th?
No, sir.
They asked you whether or not you admitted to what happened on the 12th with you going out to confront him and taking that gun out there. You recall that?
Yes.
Do you recall also telling the officers that it happened on Friday?
No.
And she asked you about what you were asking Callie and Joey to go get that gun from the side of the house. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you did that, right?
Yes.
And in that text to Joey, what did you say?
Gavin shot Destiny.
And that was some minutes after this happened. Is that correct?
Correct.
And then she told you, you had gunshot residue on your dress, right?
Yes.
You told them today that you were at the door when you saw the flash.
Yes.
When you got to the couch, What was Gavin doing?
He was sitting there crying on his knees and screaming.
Did you do anything with Gavin at that point?
I picked him up.
I don't know if you were paying attention when the medical examiner was testifying today. Did you hear her say how long Destiny could have lived suffering that gunshot?
Honestly, no, I didn't want to.
That's all right. But you do know that the first officers arrived about 2 minutes after.
Well, how long could she have lived? Why are you leaving that open? Just say it.
Yes, sir.
She spent a lot of time with you on what you said during that last statement.
This is bullshit.
Right?
Yes.
What were you doing directly before that interview?
I was planning my daughter's funeral.
You may step down, so.
This is BS. Why ask how long the child could have lived? Just say the child could have lived 2 minutes, 8 minutes. What's the point in opening Pandora's box and you don't finish it? And why didn't the state say she could have been saved or not saved?
That's a defense risk.
Please, because I'm sick of listening to you. It's bullshit.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard all the proof that you're going to hear in this case. It is now, that clock's about 6 minutes past. It's actually about 10:06, but it's late. We're not going to try to do anything else tonight. Obviously, there's no way we're going to finish this case up today. Go home, get a good night's rest. We're going to come back tomorrow, and we'll start back a little bit earlier tomorrow, because the first thing that's going to happen tomorrow morning will be a final argument. State and the defense will each have closing arguments.
Well, this is a short trial.
Do not discuss the case with anyone else tonight. Do not attempt to learn anything at all about the case, and do not watch any media reports or accounts about the case. Be in the jury room not later than 8:45 tomorrow morning. What I'm going to do is hear final argument tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And then once you have the case for deliberation, then I will do my regular docket after that. So first thing that happens tomorrow morning is this case, and you hear a little bit earlier, and we will hear final argument. We'll instruct you on the law, and then 12 of you will have the case for your consideration and deliberation. Have a very good evening. I'll see you back tomorrow morning. All rise for the hearing.
All right. Case resuming in the morning. I'm going to bring you some more information since I'm a little bit into this live stream. We're going to go ahead and talk about Miss Montgomery and get it over with, because I'm behind on 2 subject matters and some other subject matters I want to bring. And it's just hard trying to bring all of it in one stream because you can't put everything in the title. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault Excel. Let's chop everything up. She sure has changed. Yes, Maggie K, exactly. Very short trial. Where were the testimonies from the boyfriend and the baby daddy? Why did the state or the defense not call these 2 guys to testify about their behaviors, the fighting days before the death of the little girl? I'm very curious. Why not? Because it's pointless to me to talk about them during this trial and don't have them testify to what happened. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Earlier, the black detective testified. Let me tell you, he gave this defense attorney a run for his damn money, baby. I was in here hollering and screaming because he gave him the business, this defense attorney. He thought he rattled Detective Riddle. Well, the black cop, he wasn't going. He gave this defense the business. He quipped back with them. He kept it going on. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because in the end, They went to her house to investigate a 911 call about a dead kid. So all this talk about PTSD, what the cops didn't do right, what they said wasn't right, they shouldn't have hugged her, they joked about her having shingles, this, and this. If you didn't know anything about this trial and you turned it on your TV or your phone, you would have thought this was a case about rape, not a little girl being unalived. And they have shown you time and time again she lied during interrogation. You now have the state's attorney showing you all the versions she gave and also the other lies she told of other people who allegedly had no bearing on the case, weren't even at the house when the child was unalive. They have a doorbell camera showing who was going in and out of the house at the time of this crime. And there's only one person sitting outside. He goes in, whoever he is, he comes out less than a minute, and the next thing you know, the unfolding of her, hiding the gun, then making the 911 call, or she made the 911 call first and put the gun out there, whichsoever the order went. The point is, Robin was the one in the house with the kid and the 5-year-old. So you entitled to believe whatever you want. Hello, River Rat. And as you heard her speak in this commentary, all she's saying is, I tried to save my kid. I tried to save my kid. My kid growing up knowing he shot his sister. Oh, but it's okay to implicate a random person as being the murderer. So you're willing to sell a story of somebody else killing your kid to save your other kid. Oh yeah, I'll say Pookie Ray Ray did it, so long as my child don't grow up thinking he killed his sister. Well, you can lie because you're good at lying. Hello. Thank you, Cindy. Is anybody listening to the Queen? You've told numerous lies. So what's one more lie to tell your son about the death of his sister? I'll wait. Oh, I lied because who gonna take care of my baby? Well, from my understanding, you don't got your baby. You don't got your baby now. You didn't have an older child before the little girl got killed. So what the hell are you talking about? Nothing but bullshit day for day during this trial. This trial is nothing about the baby. It's all about her, how she felt, PTSD. And then we find out the cop hasn't even been charged with the crime. And it's not to say that the cop didn't rape her, but the fact that this bitch can lie on this person and that person, you think I'm getting ready to believe she was sexually assaulted? See, this is why people will judge anybody with a rape allegation. Once they find out you lie about other shit, they ain't getting ready to believe no cop raped you. And what'll be a shame is if she was raped by the cop, there is injustice, but then we later see she's killed her own kid. So for all we know, this is retribution. This is the earth coming back full circle. She lied on the cop. Now she's charged with murder. Or she told the truth about the cop. No justice. I don't know, but this is just something real funky going on with this chick, this situation with this cop. And I won't doubt that she pissed these jury members off because the defense tried to play the two cops as bad cops, insensitive cops, but they told the truth. We are here to discuss the death of a kid. We're not here to talk about what happened 4 years ago, 2 years ago. It's not that we don't care that she was raped. It's not that we don't believe she was raped, but we're not here to talk about that. That's all the fuck you've heard for 3-4 days. She was raped. She was raped. Who wants to keep hearing that? What has rape got to do with me lying about who shot my baby? Oh, she's got PTSD. Oh, I'm trying to cover for my son. But he was the last one you mentioned to implicate as the shooter. There are pictures of the bar stools. The bar stools show they're under a table when they get to taking the pictures of the crime scene. So you want us to believe a 2-year-old child, depending on how little or tall he was, saw the mother fighting with a man and ran and grabbed the bar stool, ran and took it in the back room, climbed on top of the bar stool, got a gun out of a bag, jumped back on the bar stool, or leaned on it, however, jumped down, carried the bar stool and a gun back to the main room, and then shot his sister by mistake. I'll let you sit on that for just a second. Two years old, gets a bar stool while his mother is being fought, which is another lie. Baby daddy wasn't even there. So now that I sit here and think of KAYLA Montgomery all over again, if the guy was never there to fight you, then why would the little boy be running to get the bar stool and the gun? Bingo card. Hot damn it. Go ahead, queen. It's a lie within a lie. You just heard the district attorney say, nobody was there but you, Gavin, and Destiny. So why would your child go get a gun and shoot his sister? So basically you have to change this lie again to say, well, he climbed up and got the gun and was playing around and shot his sister. Not my life was threatened and he shot his sister by mistake. So what did I tell you about a lie? If you'll lie about one thing, you'll lie about another. You've told numerous lies. I'm not gonna believe the child got the gun at all. For all I know, you left the gun out. He grabbed the gun, came, showing the sister, showing you, and then the gun went off, but I don't believe that. I think you were tired of your baby. I think you were tired of the situation with the baby daddy. The daughter was collateral damage. You got rid of her, you got rid of the problem, which was the father. That's what I think. Someone in the chat said perhaps she killed the baby as revenge towards the father. She could have. I kind of think she planned this day. She took her kids to a park out her jurisdiction in Carnes, Tennessee, right outside of Knoxville, right next door to Oak Ridge, Tennessee. I think she took the kids there. She took them home. She made a drug sale, and then she shot her child. She went outside, put the gun outside, called 911, and then the lies began. That's what I think. And I find it very disturbing that they did not call the baby daddy to testify. They didn't call the boyfriend to testify. You will also see in the past couple of days an African-American male sitting behind the defense table. I won't doubt that this is a boyfriend of hers. And the first thing I thought is, well, he must don't have a job that he could sit in court all fucking day supporting this alley bat. Why? Why? Well, they said the residue was on her clothes, on her dress, or whatever she had on, her shirt. So who was swabbed, who wasn't swabbed in this, okay? Did they swab the baby's hands? Did they swab her hands? Did the baby have gunpowder residue on him? I didn't watch all of the biological stuff today, okay? But I came in on the second part with the, hold on. With the cop testifying. All this is bullshit. Why wouldn't she just give the little girl to her dad? She don't want to give the little girl to the dad. She hates the father. He's abusive. She's not going to give to an abusive father. You hear testimony from the cops. He has a record. He's abusive. They've got them on record, both fighting each other. They got them both as suspects. Allegedly, she pulled a gun on him days before. So nobody needed the kid, point blank. Nobody needed that little boy. She also had an older child. I can't remember if they said he had that older child or if it was with another man. I can't remember. Plus, she was trying to destroy evidence. Who was thinking about destroying evidence when your baby has been nobody? Exactly. Exactly. See, you have to listen at all the evidence. And the fact that she has lied is the proof in the pudding. No decent person is going to continue to lie unless they have something to hide. And I believe she is the culprit. She's running out of people to mention that could have unalived the baby. That's just the bottom line. And like I tell you, don't put any thought into why she would kill her child, because children are murdered every day by their parents. It doesn't matter what the motive is. It's just something you ask. But in the end, it's irrelevant because you don't have a reason to kill a child. How the fuck is a 5-year-old a threat to you? She's not. You unalived her for your own selfish reasons. And most children are murdered by their parents, not an outsider, not a stranger. They're murdered by their guardian. I think she wanted to be rid of the child so she could be rid of the baby daddy. No more baby, no more baby daddy. But what I got to remember and find out is that the other boy child, the older child, is by him. Because I can't remember what they said in court the other day or interrogation. They did mention she had another son, and I can't remember if he had the kid or if it was by another man. I have to go back and find out. But the point is, there's no logical reason to kill a kid. Only if you had a child that was threatening you, old enough, big enough to push you down, hurt you, beat you up, you were fighting for your safety. But there's no logic behind killing a 5-year-old. None. Why no testimony from the baby daddy and the boyfriend? Is she still with the boyfriend? As I said, there was a dark-skinned black man sitting behind her day for day, except for the day. Who is he? Is she still dating the same guy? New boyfriend? And why the fuck is anybody dating her knowing she's killed her kid or accused of killing her kid? She's lied. So you're lying down with somebody who potentially killed their kid for no fucking reason. Why would you want a woman like this? And yes, she has changed because she's put on weight. And she's been free this entire fucking time. She's been free because her first charge was tampering with evidence. She bonded out, and then the charges were upgraded. Why didn't they rearrest her for the murder charge? Or did they, and she was able to make bond? She probably had money stored anyway from selling drugs. Stay woke. Did she continue to sell drugs after the death of Destiny? How about that? I believe all of the accused were told not to testify by attorneys, but I'm not sure. Okay, well, why would they not testify? I don't understand. I don't understand why they wouldn't call them anyway. It makes no. Anyway, I was going to do a separate video on the testimony from the black cop, Warlaw. I'm trying to pronounce his name correctly, but he gave outstanding testimony today. He gave that lawyer the business. He was ready for war today, and he stood his ground firmly, and he talked back to that lawyer. He made sure that lawyer was not going to berate him and beat his brow during court. And he stood firm. We were there to investigate the death of a child. Whatever she went through before had nothing to do with the death of the baby. And if you come in watching this trial, you would think this is about a rape trial and not a kid. That's how bad this defense represented her. He put on and on and on, all about her, all about her. This trial wasn't even about the baby. It was all about her being raped by a cop. That's all you heard for days. A little bit of testimony from here and here, but everything out the defense's mouth was about how the cops talked to her, how they treated her, how they touched her inappropriately, hugging her, how they didn't think about her. That fucking defense attorney rarely talked about the death of this kid because that's his job, to talk about his stupid client. And the client shouldn't have testified because all of her answers were, I did it for Gavin. I did it for Gavin. I didn't want him to grow up thinking he killed his sister. I did it for him. I lied. I told these stories because I didn't want him growing up. Well, the point is you lied anyway. So I wouldn't believe you telling that he killed his sister anyway. He'd have to hear it in the street. See it on the internet. She has a new boyfriend now, not Antoine or Callie. How do you know that, Pinto? That it's not Callie. How do you know? That's my said commentary. This trial is about to be over, thank God. Because most of you know I do not like talking about children's stories. Let's hear a little bit of this nonsense here. Wait a minute. I don't really want to play all this nonsense about Montgomery. I'm gonna play snippets of this because I don't want to be on much longer. We'll just play snippets and then we'll talk about it. Then I'm out of here. Thank you for joining me.
Okay.
This is a parole hearing for KAYLA Montgomery, number 92912. Present today is Chairman Roger Phillips and the Integral Parole Board. Also present today are Parole Board members Doris Enriquez and Patricia Thompson. Let the record reflect also in attendance today representing Victim Services is Lauren Avery, and representing Victim Services from the Attorney General's Office is Amy Van Hocken. This is hearing number 1.
And we'll begin that questioning with Board Member Horace and
Okay.
So, good morning.
Good morning.
Busy day.
Yeah.
You were here under the charge of perjury and making false statements.
Yes.
And we'll come to the details of that in a moment. Why would it be important to tell the truth?
Because being honest is the best thing to do. Because if you're not, other actions happen, and being able to tell the truth takes a lot of weight off of you, and it's better to tell the truth and be honest so that everything else can come to light.
So by not telling the truth to the grand jury investigation, what do you think happened? Or didn't happen?
What didn't happen was I didn't tell the truth about where I was during that time, and not being able to cooperate with the detectives. I got all caught up in the situation, and if I just was honest from the beginning, they could have done their job sooner.
What was their job?
To find Harmony and know what happened to her, and that's it.
So what did you actually tell the jury that was untrue?
That I got dropped off at my work, which was Dunkin' Donuts, and at 6 a.m. and Adam brought Harmony to meet her mother. And when he came back to pick me up at 2 p.m., she was not in the car, and that was the lie.
I guess it comes to the question was, so Harmony was your stepdaughter, correct?
Yes,
Was she part of your family?
yes.
So how are you protecting the family by telling this?
I didn't protect them at all.
Because that's, your personal statement talks about that. So they were, the justification for lying was they were protecting your family.
Yeah,
What were you protecting them from?
from losing our other children, from our family falling apart, even though it was falling apart, and not being held accountable for the actions that happened.
Just get fit. Get hardcore fit. 21 pounds and got ripped. Now you can get hardcore results too with the new shredding
Sorry
set
about
from
that, everybody.
Hydroxycut,
Hold on.
America's #1 selling weight loss brand.
Sorry.
Get hardcore.
So you were sort of acknowledging the fact that you did lie.
Yes.
Correct. So how have you learned how to tell the truth? What tools did you learn?
The tools that I've learned is understanding situations and being able to deal with them and not hide anything, and ask for help and let people know when something's wrong or it's not, or something doesn't feel right. And being able to just understand.
Gonna go back. I want to hear, did she say that the children were abused? Let me hear that again.
What I'm telling us.
I didn't protect them at all.
Because that's, your personal statement talks about that, isn't it?
So she admits that she didn't take care of her children. She didn't protect her children. So this is why I always said when in talking about Harmony Montgomery, it was more than just about her. She had other children as well that she and Adam neglected, subjected them to drug abuse, God knows what else. They probably abused all the children because eventually, or while in the care, they were probably abusing all the kids. They're on drugs. This is why I tell you, favoritism, you're still a dirty parent. Whether you beat one and you don't beat the others, you're still foul because you don't pit children against children. You don't subject children to abuse. You don't subject children to seeing you abuse another child. Wrong is wrong.
For you, the justification for lying was they were protecting your family.
Yeah.
What were you protecting them from?
From losing our other children, from our family falling apart, even though it was falling apart, and not being held accountable for the actions that happened.
So you were.
But she doesn't say my actions as well. Besides the father, what he did to the child, abusing the child, my actions for sitting around doing nothing, allowing this man to abuse my child, children, and this child, Harmony Montgomery. Say I allowed him to abuse this child or other children and I did nothing. She just leaves it open-ended, the actions. Yeah, but it was two of you in there. And how do we know the child wasn't abused by other people that were living in the house?
Sort of acknowledging the fact that you did lie.
Yes.
So how have you learned how to tell the truth? What tools did you?
Go ahead.
The tools that I've learned is understanding situations and being able to deal with them and not hide anything, and ask for help and let people know when something's wrong or it's not or doesn't feel right. And being able to just understand situations and know that it's the best to say what's on your mind and say what you know and just be honest and talk about what you're going through, or if there's anything wrong, just be honest about it.
You take a number of
Department of Corrections course to relate and choose love outside. You
Yes,
spent a lot of time with the Family Connection Center,
yes.
did the focus program,
I'm still currently in it.
when with your the family,
Black.
and how do you think you're ready?
Between the end of this month and beginning of next month.
For the next 3 or 4 weeks?
Yeah.
You had a couple of hiccups getting through the focus program. What was that about?
Because I was cheating my medication. So I got, they took me out of the program and I had to wait to get back in.
So while in prison, she was cheeking her medicine. So what was she doing with the medicine? See, this is what happens when you're dealing with a con artist. She wasn't swallowing her medicine. So what was she going to do with it? Sell it, give it to somebody else for trade, for commissary? But yet you are releasing her to the public. This makes sense to me. And the DA, I don't understand why you all are not riding on what the cop told the court, that Harmony wasn't seen at 2 traffic stops by him, by his visual. So why is this woman getting parole, and why are you not charging her with lying to the court? That's a part of her agreement. You testified, we erased these other charges of theft, fraud, tax fraud, gun charges, all that, for where he stole those guns. And yet now she's getting an early parole. This is bullshit to me. And now you hear she was cheeking her medicine, and you're gonna let her out. And you think she's gonna walk out here on the street and do right. And what planet is she gonna do that? This is bullshit.
Did you have to do anything to get back in? Or just
No, you just wait until they put you in again.
Is cheating of falsifications in line?
Yes,
So why would you do that?
because I wasn't in the right headspace at the time.
Oh, I thought she was keeping her medicine. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. But what was she lying about? I'm confused.
So where are you in your addiction care right now?
I am on the MAT program with Suboxone, and having the tools that I am actually taking seriously and working on myself with the focus program is
So
a big part.
give me a tool that you're using fairly routinely.
Instead of, I'm being honest, I'm not lying, and distorted thinking, which you end up changing your thoughts. I could tell you, I could lie to you and say things, but I'm not. I am nervous right now and anxious.
I understand that for sure.
Yeah, so I'm like trying my best to concentrate and not.
Well, I'll give you to talk to the three of us. So you got these tools working on yourself. What's your home plan?
That I am working with my case manager on. We're looking for sober living. I'm looking for any sober living housing, but one that I would feel safe.
What do you mean feel safe? Adam's already locked up in prison. He can't do anything to you. So what are you talking about? You want to go to a sober living place that's you're going to feel safe. Are you talking about people? Well, people are people, just like people are people in that prison. The people in the prison can hurt you. The people out here in the street can hurt you. The people in the halfway house can hurt you. That's just the way it is. So what are you referencing? The fact that you went along with this baby toting, this dead baby being toted around in different bags? What the hell are you talking about? Let me give you a little information on what the hell's going on. Kayla Montgomery, the stepmother of Harmony Montgomery, has been granted parole from her New Hampshire state prison sentence. Kayla Montgomery is currently serving an 18-month prison sentence for lying to a grand jury surrounding the disappearance and murder of 5-year-old Harmony. She reached a plea agreement with prosecutors in 2022 to testify against her estranged husband, Adam. Kayla Montgomery received back-to-back prison sentences of 3.5 to 7 years. And as you see, she has not done 3 years because we're just in 24. Per the sentencing agreement issued by Hillsborough County Superior Court, she is allowed to receive earned time credit reductions to her minimum and maximum sentences for the completion of rehabilitative programs while incarcerated, the NH Adult Parole Board said. Well, that doesn't count you doing programs inside. The test is being out here where it's freedom to roam, to have self-control, impulse control. Taking a program in prison isn't shit. Your true test is walking amongst civilized people. That's your true test. Because in prison and jail, you say anything. I'm going to change. I'm going to do right. I'm remorseful. I miss this. I miss that. Then you get out here on the street, you do absolutely opposite than what the fuck you said you were going to do when you were locked up. People do it all the time. So I don't know why the hell they're sitting here giving her a reduced sentence from her taking programs inside. I heard she got mandated for doing something. I thought she was holding the medicine in her mouth. Maybe I misunderstood what she was saying. But anyway, whatever the fuck she did in the prison, why are you letting her out? I'm confused. She needs to do the whole fucking 7 years. The whole 7. Kayla Montgomery will need to have a housing plan investigated by officers from the NHDOC Division of Field Services, Probation and Parole Officers, and approved prior to her schedule for release. She will also need to complete the programming that she is currently enrolled in before being eligible for release. So she's got to complete what she's doing now. How long is that program? 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, what? Because May is just 2 months from now. Kayla Montgomery testified that her husband repeatedly punched Harmony Montgomery in the face and head because he was angry that she was having bathroom accidents in the car. Adam Montgomery was convicted of second-degree murder last month. Police believe he killed his daughter nearly 2 years before she was reported missing in 2021, and whose body was never found. He's scheduled to be sentenced. In May. So how convenient. It says Kayla Montgomery does not have a set release date. So she's to go free in May, and he's to be sentenced in May. How nice. 25 News is the source of this information. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the Vault XL.
And know that I see.
So you, as you know, there's a focus program
Yes,
at home and to be released.
yes,
Now, I want to come back a little bit to you had a tough time in the system, a lot of the disciplinaries.
yeah,
You had a lot of work offs.
Yes.
Have you finished those hours?
yes,
And the good news is you've had no discipline since July, roughly.
yes,
Started to pay attention to things.
yeah.
So tell me about you. You have 4 other children, correct?
Yes.
And what was happening with them?
My oldest son lives with his father and stepmother and brothers. My 3 youngest lived here. My husband, ex-husband's children, they are living with my mother. They've been with her for the past almost 2.5 years.
Wait. Her first child is living where?
Correct.
Yes.
And what was happening with them?
My oldest son lives with his father and stepmother and brothers.
Wow.
My 3 youngest lived here also. My husband, ex-husbands, children, they are living with my mother. They've been with her.
4 total children, not in the care of Kayla Montgomery. Will these people, the father and then her mother, allow her to see her children when she is released from prison? See, this is what we're talking about, why she doesn't need to be free. Because I won't doubt these stupid motherfuckers will allow her to have access to her children. She has no business around children. If you can walk around as an addict, subjecting your children to nonsense and God knows whatever else we never learned about, you help cover up the death of a child or facilitated the death, I don't know. You carried a dead baby in a bag, in betwixt your children in a stroller, stayed from place to place with a dead baby. You have no business around no one. Tall, short, fat, black, white, 2 years old, 18 years old. That's my public opinion. And I won't doubt when she gets out, those fools will probably let her see her children. Her stupid mother will allow her to see those kids. I don't know if the older child's father will allow her to see that son, but I won't doubt she'll probably see the younger children that live with the mother. And I cannot understand why no one on TV has mentioned that she lied during testimony of the Adam Montgomery trial. Because the cop says he did not see that baby November 29th and December 2nd. So where was Harmony on those 2 different traffic accidents? So that means she couldn't have been murdered on the 7th of December. I'm going to keep saying this. And she wasn't seen November 29th or December 2nd. So she was already dead by December 7th. And yet you all are paroling her. So that means nobody has paid attention to the testimony of the cop during the trial. Let me say it again. Nobody is adhering to the testimony of the cop during that fucking trial. There was never any respect for Harmony Montgomery by her own mother, by her own father, and by Kayla, family members of that house. Because this could have been avoided had somebody stepped in the gap for her. All this back and forth with her bio mother, that was stupid. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's only Montgomery to end up dead and carried around in trash bags. And now this heifer, we really don't know her role. She's doing as much lying as this bitch is lying in the other trial I just showed you of Robin HOWINGTON. Because what did I tell you? If you lie about one thing, you'll lie about another. So, like I said, who's to say that that girl wasn't dead in October? Harmony Montgomery. You don't know what's the truth. And here she's choosing her words very carefully, which shows me she's probably not genuine about what she's saying. Because if you want out of prison, you have remorse, you have learned a lesson, you have no problem with talking proficiently to these 3 people. I'm ready to get out of here. I acknowledge the part I played in not protecting Harmony and these children. I was wrong to stay in this relationship as long as I did. I was wrong for using drugs. I was wrong for being involved with this man. I was wrong for allowing him to beat that kid. I was wrong for aiding him in hiding a dead body for months. That's what you say to the parole board.
For the past almost 2.5 years, and I ended up losing my rights to them because of my crime that I am connected to. The affidavit got out, and I believe that they used it against me, which I understand. for my kids. So I ended up losing my kids. I lost the rights to my kids.
Right.
And the affidavit that got out about Harmony, and what it was saying and details that it was saying, I feel and believe that the CASA and the judge in that case, I believe that they were using the affidavit against me. So I lost my kids.
Well, they had every right
So
to.
the ability to get that, those rights back.
I can, yeah, I put an appeal in.
Okay. So that's, but you're allowed to.
Are you hearing this? She says she lost the right to her children because of the affidavit, she thinks. Well, Kayla, you don't have the rights to be around children, period. Have you not really realized what you've done? This parole hearing is bullshit. She doesn't have the right to be around children. And you all should see, she's basically telling you, I lost the rights to my children because they heard about the affidavit, the organization, whoever the fuck she's talking about, CPS or whoever. No, you don't need to be around children because you don't have common sense to do what's right. You are a drug addict. You have the propensity to continue to use drugs when you get out. You will probably go back to using drugs. And who the fuck is going to give you custody back of your kids? And a whole dead baby was in your custody for months. And I believe custody longer than December. Some of us believe she was dead back in October. They had to get out that house. They had nowhere to go. She was dead weight, literally. And what did I tell you about a liar? You lie about one thing, you'll lie about another. She lied just like this lady lied here in Knoxville about her 5-year-old. They're cut from the same fucking cloth. They are selfish. So the fact that she's sitting here talking about appealing to get her kid back. No. There should be no appeals. Hell no.
Are you allowed to communicate with your children?
I haven't been. I'm not, well, DCYF still has custody of them, but they've been living with my mother.
No, I understand that. Are you allowed to communicate with them?
I have not talked.
The mother has the children, but DHS still has full custody of the kids. Are you hearing this? So basically your mother is a foster mother. Are you all hearing this? Why hasn't her mother been given full custody of the children? Yeah, I'll wait.
I know my mother has been taking care of them.
I understand. You're not,
No, I haven't.
You're not allowed to, or because
I don't know if it's because I'm not allowed to, or my mom's just not choosing to allow me to talk to them because I lost my rights, and TCYF has custody of them, so I don't know. It's just because of that.
So tell me, you gave the statement, your personal statement here.
So is her mother not allowing her to have contact with the children so she doesn't lose custody of the children? Because 9 times out of 10, ding, 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 or 10 out of 10, the mother's getting money to take care of the children. Is the mother doing a good job of taking care of the children? How did Kayla turn out to be such a misfit? Apple tree, what are we talking about? Because how do you wake up one day and become a drug addict and hang with this abusive man, make babies with him, neglect your children, aid him in the murder of his own kid? This isn't your average type shit to get wrapped up in. So is the mother keeping her away from the kids so she don't get custody lost? Because in the end, the kids have been gone long enough for the mothers to actually have gotten full custody. What's the deal with that? See, there's a lot of bullshit still going on with this fucking couple. Will she get custody of her kids back? Why hasn't her mother gotten full custody of the children? Tangled web
we weave.
That we try to rate this wrong.
Yes,
How do we try to do that?
by telling the truth about what happened to Harmony and being honest and being in compliance with the detectives and the state.
I had just a couple of questions. This is your first felony conviction, is that correct?
Yes,
You had some misdemeanors.
yes,
And in one of the prior misdemeanors, you were required to do a 28-day program, is that correct?
yes.
And did you accomplish that?
No, I did not until after I, was incarcerated and got put into a 28-day program.
And how, was that in county?
Yes.
All right. And how do you compare that program with Focus?
For myself, I don't think I was really ready to actually pay attention when I was in that 28-day program and
Exactly.
really work on myself. And
Well, the problem with addiction is it's a disease of denial.
yeah,
But people can get clean and sober when they accept the fact,
yeah,
you know, that they're hooked.
yeah,
And then, once that acceptance begins, the denial goes away.
yeah.
And that's the whole idea of whether it be the 28-day program, and I'm sure of Focus also.
Yeah, when I got kicked out of Focus the first time and for taking my medication,
Okay, that's what you did.
when
I saw.
I got put into the program, I was like, oh, I just got,
Okay, so I heard her right. She was cheeking medicine. How she got kicked out the first program. Okay.
to get this done and I could leave. But after getting kicked out and being put back in the program, I've actually been working on myself.
And when you say it's cheating, what do you mean by that? Rather than swallowing the medication?
Because I just kept it under my tongue and didn't, and shoved it in my mouth, and they caught me cheating my medication instead of taking it properly.
Then why didn't you take it properly?
I wasn't in the right headspace and I just didn't really care at that time.
What did you do?
I ended up having to spit it out.
You just spit it out, got rid of it, you share the name and you anybody.
No, the officer took it, like, yeah.
So have you done it prior, though, you never got caught, or is this the
No.
only time you didn't get caught?
That was the first time, and I did it one other time, and that was like close together. And then I haven't done it since.
So I just have a couple. You've been on probation before in the past.
Yes,
How'd that go?
not good,
Not very well, right?
no,
Yeah. So you understand that probation and parole are pretty similar.
yes,
Do you understand that the standard conditions are pretty similar?
yes,
Do you know what the standard conditions are? The gist of them, I'm not gonna ask you to read them verbatim, but do you know one big one I'm looking for? You can't lie.
oh, yeah,
You can't lie, right?
right,
It's the same on probation, it's the same on parole, right?
yeah,
And it is a technical violation, but with you, right, you can bet they're gonna be looking, right? They're gonna pay
Yeah.
attention to that technical violation because that's the charge you're here for, right?
yeah.
So I guess my question is, how are you gonna be able to deal with that? How are you gonna be able to deal, because you've got some pressure on you, you're young and you've got a lot of pressure, right?
Exactly.
Some of it you brought on by your choices, right?
Yeah,
Can't minimize that.
No.
But how are you gonna deal with the pressure in the community and be able to keep yourself together and not lie? Because it's hard, but once you tell one, you're beat,
yeah,
because you're not gonna be able to keep up,
right, yeah,
and the microscope's gonna be on you.
yeah,
How are you gonna
I
do that?
know that.
How are you gonna deal with it?
All they can do is take it one day at a time.
Do you understand that your probation or your parole officer
are your lifeline.
Yes.
They really are your lifeline. They are there to help you. They're there to guide you. They're not there to try to get you back in here as fast as you can get here. You need to use them as a resource.
Yeah.
And that's hard. It's hard to trust, right?
Yeah.
Right? It's hard to trust law enforcement with you right now,
Yeah.
right? I know. I can see it written all over your face. So what do you think the big differences are, the supervision for you with probation pool? Supervision levels.
I feel that parole is higher than probation.
Higher how though? What do you think that your parole officer is gonna have you do differently than your probation officer didn't have you do?
I honestly don't know.
Probably have to report more, probably have more drug screens, probably more home visits,
Yeah.
right? Probably check on programming more, right? A little stricter, right? So, you know, you talked about your children a little bit.
Yeah.
You went through family connections.
Yeah.
Never at any point during family connections, with all the resources they have, did you want to read a book and record it and send it home to your family for your kids to listen to? Did you ever want to do any of those things that they have? Because I know that that's an
I
option.
have.
Okay.
I've done the Cliff thing where you get folks you can send them. I have wanted to do the recording, but I don't want to do it and they can't listen to it, or it's just hard right now.
It's hard, but do you think that it will make you feel like you're trying by doing nothing, right? Because it sounds like you really want a relationship so that children, you just don't know if you can go there.
Yeah.
So they're basically asking her all the basic questions you ask a person, you know, how you feel about this, that, your programs you're taking. But as I've told you so many times, everything's about aversion. You're entitled to believe what a person says or not. I don't know if she's going to stay clean out here. I don't know how she's going to act. But I'm going to read the results of the last poll. Should Kayla be able to get her kids back? 44% no. Damn, 30%. Not sure. 24%. 49 votes. Wow, wow, wow. I'm going to put up another poll. Is she going to do right? Is she going to do right? Let's go to that. Only 9 of you voted. Will Kayla stay clean, out of trouble? 10% yes, 80% no, 10% not sure. Take the poll, everybody. Take the poll. Will she stay out of trouble? Will she stay clean? Hell, does she even have remorse? I asked you that last month when I was covering the trial of Adam Montgomery. Most of you believe she didn't have any remorse. A lot of you believe she also was involved in the crime of unaliving the girl child, Harmony. Now she's being released in 2 months. Don't have an exact date. I don't know if she's going to fare well, because we know what it's about, using drugs. And if they're still giving her shit inside, Suboxone or whatever, that will lead you to believe she's still got some hangups. Because if you've been in jail at least 2 years, you should have dried out by then. You haven't had any narcotics? So why are they still giving her Suboxone? Will she continue to take Suboxone when she gets out? Will she go to AA meetings? Will she comply with regulations of the parole and probation board? Will she fuck up? That's the point. Take the poll, everybody. Welcome to the Vault XL. This is a continued live from Robin HOWINGTON into KAYLA Montgomery. She's getting out in May. Should she have been released? Should she have gotten more time? I'm going to put that poll up too. Thank you for joining me.
That's my mother.
Yeah. But there's all these options and things that you could have done to try to at least try to have some sort of relationship. And you don't need to know if they get there. You just need to know that you did it.
I have been doing stuff.
Okay.
I've been doing the cliff thing, blankets, I've been making pictures, I've been doing a lot of things.
Okay.
And I'm still in the FCC program. I've still been doing the parent support groups, and I did the parenting class and the healthy relationships, and I see Miss Me once a week with support groups.
And you talked about that, disciplinary was an issue during the first got here. You completed all your extra duty hours.
Yes.
And what did you do for extra duty hours here?
Shoveling. I feel most of it was shoveling, ice scooping, cleaning the day room, the windows, the workout room. We just did a lot of cleaning.
Do you have a job here?
Yes.
So my last question is, what are your goals? What is your 5-year goal from today? If you're granted parole, what is your goal?
I don't even, just my recovery is number one. And just keep doing the right thing. That's just what's been in my mind, to be honest.
When you went to school growing up, right, some people say, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a police officer. What did you want to be?
I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Still want to be a veterinarian?
Yeah.
Sounds like a good goal. Keep yourself self-drive for, right? Working on your recovery is fantastic, but you gotta do something yourself.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, your mind's not gonna stop. Right? If your mind doesn't stop, what are we gonna do?
Relapse.
We're gonna go back and self-medicate. And then you're gonna get in the cycle again. You've gotta take time for yourself. You gotta figure it out. It's not easy. You're gonna feel selfish, but you have to do it.
That's how I already feel.
All love hearing yes. I guess toting around a dead body is no big deal in New Hampshire. Just saying. No big deal.
I have this question. You're on the MAT program now.
Yes.
And in taking that medication, do you have any health side effects?
No.
Does it help as far as the feeling of compulsion is concerned? The compulsion to use?
Yes, and I don't get cravings or anything like that.
She doesn't have cravings.
Want to use.
Do you believe what she just said? Gonna put up that poll after this one. One moment. Let's read the results of this last poll. Thank you for joining me. Should she have done 7 years, no parole? 79% yes, 21% no. Take the poll before I end it. Put up the next question. Thank you for joining me. It's part 2 of this live stream pertaining to Robin HOWINGTON, accused of killing her 5-year-old daughter. The defense, I believe, has rested. We will see what happens tomorrow in court. I decided to go ahead and finish out some space on this pertaining to KAYLA Montgomery. I'll try to put it in the title so people will know it's also in this live stream. Thank you for joining me. 16 votes. Should she have gotten the whole 7 years? 81% yes, 19% no. Brooke says, I don't believe one word. The liar says. Someone says she played a major role in the poor little girl's senseless murder. I honestly wish no good for her. Okay. Okay.
And also, you see behavioral health behind the walls also.
Yes.
And you take any medication, I don't need to know names of anything, but if you take any medication.
Yes.
The only thing that we're asking that for is, as far as the parole conditions are concerned, if you grant parole, include things like that.
Yeah.
All right. And your minimum parole date is soon coming out. It's in May of this year, is it not? May 3rd of this year.
Yes.
All right. And you realize that date is the date that you could be released, provided you complete focus and any other required program.
Yes.
But if you, and sometimes, that's what I indicate, I guess there was you some earned time credit by doing certain things. Was it breaking free?
I had Breaking Free, Choose Loud program, and Core Skills.
And by doing programs that helps in your rehabilitation.
Hey, it's so funny. Very true.
So your minimum parole date decreased, in other words, that you can get out at an early date.
Yes.
I'm not certain if it's the May 3rd or May 5th, but whatever date that is the date that you could be paroled if this board decides to grant you this.
Yes.
All right, we have no control over, by the way, minimum parole dates. That's a function of the court in its sentencing.
Yes.
And you behind the walls for the programs that you do. All right, unless there are any more programs, we deliberate through the use of our computers.
Yes.
We'll do that now. Listen.
Does she know where the baby is to tell it? Don't you think she would have told it by now? Just saying.
Is there anything else you want to indicate to us?
I know my case manager told me that my minimum is March 4th because of my earned time that I went through.
That's right. I think it was reduced to from May, so that you're really past your minimum as we speak today.
Yes.
It's a matter of completing those programs that we earlier discussed.
Yes.
So, okay.
From a victim services standpoint, the only condition that we're going to request is intensive supervision for a minimum of 90 days upon release due to complexities related to this.
All right, there's a request from victim service for ISP, which is the term of supervision so that you report more often. All right.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I am working with the staff here on making sure I feel safe when it is time for me to leave. I've been checking in with mental health a lot and the late acts. And we're just working on a plan for when it's time for me to leave, that I feel safe and strong enough to be out.
I would encourage you to keep that close to you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Don't share.
What is she talking about? Feel safe. Safe about what? You don't feel safe that you're gonna do right? You're gonna go back to use drugs? Or are you talking about your safety physically? You're worrying about getting hurt by outside people who know you're free, or both. What is she saying in this commentary? I'm confused. Does she not trust herself to leave drugs alone, not break the law, and also her physical by outsiders? What the fuck is she talking about? This is the reason why your ass don't need to be out here. How about that? You don't trust yourself, then you don't need to be free. And I don't think you've done enough time for toting a dead baby around. That's just my personal take on it. Because what I have to tell myself is the obvious. If you will lie about a dead kid, carry a dead kid around for months, you are susceptible to do any fucking thing. Because we don't know if you help him kill that kid. because you were trying to save your fucking self. And I don't trust nobody that aids, sleeps with the killer, getting high on drugs, breaking the law, children in their custody. Why am I going to believe anything she has to say at this parole hearing? We know she didn't tell the truth when she testified because the cop told us different, and yet the state has done nothing but allow this motherfucker to walk free. So you all have not helped the judicial process, and you all haven't helped the Department of Human Services. This is a joke.
With those you don't want to know. The security staff will do their job.
Yeah.
Right? Your PO will have discretion, whoever that may be. But usually I find when these things happen, clients usually talk too much themselves and then they get scared because they're told one bar.
I was told that I could say that.
Yeah, no, you can say to us.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, when you decide where you're going,
Yeah, that.
all everybody here.
Yeah, that's one thing I'm working on.
You understand what ISP is?
Yeah.
So you'll have a curfew, you'll have increased screens, all those things we talked about, the difference, right?
Yeah.
The difference, you will come back on just about any violation during that 90 days that happens.
Okay.
Your parole officer has a lot more leeway on your violations.
Do you believe she doesn't have cravings for drugs? This is what she said. She don't crave drugs anymore. 7% said yes. 73% says no. 20% not sure. Going to end that poll. Thank you for joining me. They're explaining to her the stipulations of parole, probation. She will have intense scrutiny, 90 days as advocated for the victim's rights. She's got to turn herself in visually, probably weekly, for 3 months. So how much time will she be paroled and probation? Because she's also probably going to get drug tested, show proof of identity, where she lives, job, housing, all of that. And we will see if she complies. Because let's be truthful, she comes out wanting to tweet, get turned up, she going right back in there. Because you know damn well they're going to make her pee in a cup every time she goes to see the parole officer, as they should. As they should. Sorry about that, everybody.
Yeah.
But the important part of that is that you keep your PPO informed.
Yeah.
And you work closely with him or her.
Yeah.
Because they don't want you to come back.
Yeah.
Their success is when you do well in the community. Because our function as a parole board is to release those on parole who will not again commit a crime and will turn out to be good citizens. And that parole supervision is what helps in that goal.
Okay.
Okay. All right, we've communicated, and we're going to grant you the privilege of parole. It'll be on standard conditions. You must complete focus. You must comply with your approved home plan. If it includes sober living, remain there for 90 days or thereafter at the discretion of your PPO and as recommended by your treatment provider. Engage in the American Society of Addiction Medicine substance level of care as the Department of Corrections and the LADAC recommends. Comply with the MAT or MAUD program, MAT or MAUD program, including prescribed medications. Mental health in the community is needed and be compliant with prescribed medication. Engage in group detection recovery, which may include AA and NA, as recommended by the LADAC and the PPO. And of course, you have to be C3 and D3 for release, an ISP for 90 days and then in the discretion of the PTO. Now that's going to be read back to you. And then, if you have any questions, you can ask them after the readback.
Okay.
And let the record reflect as follows. Today's decision is your parole has been approved. However, you must complete the focus program and you must have an approved home plan. If your home plan includes a sober living, you must remain there for 90 days and thereafter in discretion of your PPO and as recommended by your treatment provider. You're to engage in ASAM substance use disorder level care as DOC LADAC recommends. You're to comply with your MAP, MAUB program, including prescribed medications. You are to engage in mental health treatment in the community as needed, be compliant with your medications, your prescribed medications. You're to engage in group addiction recovery, which may include AA and NA as recommended by your LADAC and PPO. You'll be on ISP for a period of 90 days and at discretion of your PPO. Standard conditions of parole apply and you are to be C3 or lower classification and disciplinary free for release.
Okay.
All right, do you have any questions?
No, I do not.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, that's the end of that. Thank you for joining me. I'm not gonna stay on much longer. Just wanted to bring you the 411 pertaining to this nonsense. Originally, this was what I was playing. This crazy nonsense over here. Let me see what you guys are talking about. Hagen says she doesn't know where the baby is. She should do a full 7 years. Well, she's not. Hippie says, I don't believe she knows where the baby is. She's telling the truth, but because I think Adam didn't want anyone to know. Of course, collateral damage. I cannot let anybody know where the child is. It would make no sense to tell where she is. For what reason? I've already agreed to abuse of a corpse. I'm putting the blame on Kayla as to remove myself from culpability. I'm telling you where to find the damn baby. The remains, even if you can't do a proper autopsy, you can't determine manner of death. I'm not telling you anything. He knows exactly what he was doing. Let's see, how long have I been on live? Oh God, 222, Jesus mercy. Got so many things I want to talk about. Got something crazy case coming out of Kentucky I want to talk about. A new law that's passed there about child support. Very weird situation. One second, everybody. Oh, Lord. Trying to pull this up. I can't even pull up. Miss Hagan, I'm calling you. Well. Miss Hagan, can you answer the phone? If not, I'm checking off this live stream. Thank you all for joining me. Well, I'll give you my opinion pertaining to the first part of this live stream pertaining to Robin Howington. I do believe she's a liar. I do believe she killed her kid. I believe she has no remorse for the death of her said child. She's lied numerous times during interrogation, and that's the bottom line. Trying to figure out why she would kill her kid, what's the point? Because she's just empty inside, and you can see that during interrogation. She's very empty. As far as Kayla, I don't know if she's going to change, but I do believe she should still be incarcerated, and she should have done the whole 7 years. Does she know where the baby is located? I have no idea, but it is what it is. Hello, Hagen. What do you have to say about the first case of Miss Howington?
Put her underneath the jail.
Do you
She
believe-
hurt her child
So-
and then blamed it on a toddler.
Okay. Have you followed the case?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
So you don't believe a random stranger killed the kid?
No, because in the beginning she said that someone walked in the house and shot the baby.
Okay.
And then ran out. And then she goes and hides the gun underneath the bushes next to her house, trying to get someone to go pick up the gun.
Okay.
And you know what? Toddlers climb, but they climb for good reason, to get their toys, to get a snack.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to climb to get a big black bag, to get a pew-pew.
Okay.
Sorry, it just ain't happening.
Well, do you believe she left the gun out? Could it be she did leave the gun out?
But either way, she put the fear of God into them kids about that.
Okay.
Not to touch it, don't.
But how you know that? You don't know that.
Well, most parents would put the fear of God, well, most parents would lock things like
Yeah,
that.
and that's my point. She's selling drugs in her house, and you really can't say what she would or wouldn't do because she's not responsible for one.
I just don't understand why she did what she did, like as in unaliving her child.
Okay,
Unless
so-
she had,
Okay, well, Harmony was unalive. Children are unalive by their parents. That's a stat. That's a proven stat. So you could beat your head against a wall trying to figure out why she would kill her kid. Okay, well, why was Harmony killed? Because she like peeing on herself and used the bathroom on herself, allegedly. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
So
that's my
her
point,
reason would be
like,
what?
My understanding, the only understanding I can come up with, and I shouldn't even gone down that rabbit, that the little girl's father, or, you know, I have her, you're never getting her kind of thing, but I shouldn't even went down that rabbit hole because I shouldn't.
Well, let me ask you this. After what you've heard from court testimony, if indeed she killed the child, what was the motive?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And in these cases, does there really have to be a motive?
Well, I mean, that's what people want to know. That's just a known fact. That's the question
I
people
know.
ask. That's the question the jury's going to ask. Why did she do it? That's why it says has to prove she did it and a motive. So far,
Unless
we
she
haven't
was
even
one of-
heard why they think she did it.
Unless she was just one of these unstable people and the kids were really on her last nerve and by God, it was her way or no way. We don't know.
Why do
Or
you
the
think?
idea of aggravating or making the little girl's father mad.
So why do you think the two guys didn't testify?
Because they didn't have anything to do with it.
Okay, but they're talking about them during trial. Would it be nice to say, hey, if I'm going to set up a reason why she could have killed the kid, introduce the baby daddy? Because the state has to show she killed the kid. You got to give a reason why she would kill the kid. That's the whole point. It's the burden of the proof is on the state. So if you're going to say she killed the kid, then people are going to want to know, well, why would she kill her kid?
Well, I understand that, but in the same instance, look at the Adam Montgomery thing. Do we really know why he did what he did, or Kayla did what
Yeah,
he did?
but there was a
Really
reason
not.
why she gave. But there's a reason she gave. Doesn't mean it's true, but there was a reason she gave why he killed the kid, okay? I'm saying in this case, I haven't heard why she would kill her kid. This is the state saying, I think she murdered the child. Okay, then what is the reason? That's the state's job, is to give a motive.
I understand that, but sometimes the reason could be the dumbest thing, or it could, sometimes there is no reason.
Okay, what I'm saying, sweetheart.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if I believe the reason. I'm saying I'm an attorney. I'm bringing you a case. I brought you an indictment. The people are going to want to know, what reason do you think she killed the kid? See where I'm going? Doesn't mean it's the truth. It's just, you're the one trying the case. You want me to believe she killed her kid. Okay, well, give me a motive of why she would do this. Or are they just saying she's negligent because she left the gun out? But they're not saying that the kid did it, so.
Well, here's the other thing. The little girl could have seen things that mommy does that she shouldn't have seen and can tell on mommy.
Interesting.
I mean, there's got to be a reason why, and it might be a good reason, it might not be, but.
I think I need to go back to opening statements because I didn't go back at the beginning to see what the state said and their proof that she did it and why they think she did it. Was it just they're saying she's negligent, or if there was some other reason?
I didn't hear that. Like, after I heard the cop's testimony, I loved him. I was like, I blanked out after that because.
Who are you talking about, Riddle or the second cop?
The black cop.
Okay.
I loved him.
Okay. Yeah,
his testimony made me cry.
Yeah, he gave him the business. He let that defense attorney know, you might thought you was going to ready to run over Riddle, but you're about to do me the same way. He gave that fucking cop the business today.
Yeah.
He gave him the business. He stood his ground. I'm glad he stood his ground without popping off and acting a fool in the courtroom, because this case is a case about rape. It's not even a case about a kid. That's what I find so baffling. The whole case is about her being assaulted.
Yeah.
It's not even about the death of a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
But she lies so much.
I don't understand how she thinks she can blame this on a top.
But she did. That's her last lie. That's her last fishing attempt. That's why you know she killed the kid, because she ran out of people to blame. So, okay, now I'm going to put it off on the 2-year-old.
Yeah.
When they kept bringing her information to refute her version, she had to come up with another version. Then they refute that, she had to come up with another version. Then you hear she's implicated the boyfriend in wiping the gun off, putting the gun outside. And then the baby daddy went in the closet, got the gun and all that. Why would this man be back in your closet fooling with your gun? How would he even know to go back in your room and where to find the gun? See, all that's crazy to me.
Yeah, and knowing that there was video of the outside of that house to see who went in and who was going out.
But she didn't know that.
Yeah.
And that's where she fucked up.
You've got to believe in this day and age, if you walk outside your house and you commit a crime, there's got to be a camera somewhere. Yeah. Somebody's got to be watching somewhere.
Yeah. And somebody had a camera, amazingly.
Yeah.
Because imagine had they not had the camera. Oh my God.
I know.
She could have just said anything. And especially if she had gotten rid of that gun, we would never have none of this.
Exactly.
That's what messed her up, was having the gun and putting the gun outside and that surveillance camera. You take away the camera, you take away her stupidly putting that gun outside, she could have easily walked down an alleyway or 2 blocks around the corner, dumped the gun somewhere in a Kroger bag. Nobody would have never known, and she could have came back, played it off, and then dialed 911.
Yeah.
Very interesting. KAYLA Montgomery will be released in May.
I am totally against that. I understand that she may not know where the baby is, but she might. And here's the thing. She is the last bargaining chip that they've got. So I would be like, you know what? You can tell us where the baby is and do your whole 7 years, because we know you already lied.
Mm-hmm. And that's a good point. I said this earlier. If you lie about one thing, you can lie about another. So maybe she does know, but she's holding it to the vest. I don't know. Because really that would be her bargaining chip to get full immunity, no charges, no jail time, no nothing. I tell where he dropped that baby off. I would think she would have done that as to say, well, this is what I have. I know where you can find the remains, but that means I don't do nothing but testify and that's it. No jail, no nothing. See where I'm going?
Yeah. Her attitude in that parole hearing was terrible. It was like she was sitting in front of the principal at school being, chastised for being a bad kid.
Yeah. I found it interesting. She couldn't gather her words. It's like she was thinking of what to say. Because she said, I'm nervous, but my thing is, you seem to me you would be very eager to get the truth out, to say, I have been a horrible person, horrible mother. I know what I did was wrong. I could have helped save this child had I went and told people that she was being abused. I could have saved my own kids had I left. I shouldn't have been using drugs. I didn't hear any of that, just that she talked real solemn about her actions. But the actions, she doesn't say my actions. She says the actions. So the actions could be whatever she did plus whatever Adam.
Yes. Like she's distancing herself
Exactly.
from the whole situation.
Yeah. Well, and that's what she's done. There's no accountability.
I believe this. She needs to be careful about herself because I don't think she's safe out of jail.
Well, maybe that's what she meant when she was saying. Because she did not iterate. She didn't say, well, I feel like people might bother me, hurt me. Safety. So I don't understand what she's talking about. Safety as far as not using, safety as far as people bothering her, both. What is she saying?
Well, that's why I think that maybe she would be safer just sitting in jail the whole 7 years.
Well, but she's got to come out eventually. That's the whole point.
I understand that, but you know what? A few more years is not going to hurt.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying she still has to come out. Whether she do 10, 15, she's still got to walk free at some point. Somebody's still going to know her name. Somebody's still going to recognize her. So if somebody wants to do something to her, they will.
But see, right now, she is she can go out in this world and cause more trouble, have more kids.
Yeah.
And make a mess.
Yeah, the wound is still fresh. That's the point.
A little longer.
Yeah, the wound is still fresh.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Funny, he's getting sentenced in May. She's getting out in May.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. The situation with her children, she said she hadn't talked to her kids. Do you think her mother's keeping her from the children so the mother don't lose custody of having the kids?
I think so because what I think is her mother lives in an apartment. Mm-hmm. So I would believe that her mother's being paid by the state to keep those kids. That's a paycheck.
Well, they said the state still has full custody. So that means she's just a foster parent, really.
Yes.
Don't you find that interesting after all this time? She don't have full custody. Don't you find that odd?
I find it odd that they even gave Kayla's kids to Kayla's mom.
Well, maybe she's got a clean background. But I think the flip side would be, some people would say, the child didn't fare well with all these different people. Why would you all trust anybody in this circle to take care of any of these children after what happened to Harmony Montgomery? That would be a very valid point. That really nobody related to either Adam or this woman's side of the family should keep the kid, because like I said, we don't really know that woman saw Harmony. The cop says he saw her, he didn't see her the 29th, December 2nd with them in those car accidents. So now you got to say, well, where was the child at? Well, common sense would tell you she was dead. So that means the mother was lying. And she's raising these other children.
Yes, and let's not forget that the baby was kept in a cooler in the hallway at mom's apartment.
Yeah, I know. And no complaining of something stinking. And no way you can walk by that cooler and not notice an odor.
Exactly. I've tested it. Not with kids. I mean, I put a piece of meat in the cooler and left it sit outside the house. What? Even though it's closed, yes, you can still smell. There is an odor.
You did this recently?
Yes.
Oh my God.
I had raccoons. I had skunks. I had all kinds of critters come into my house.
I'm dead. I can't believe you just said that. you experimented because of this case?
Yes.
Wow. I think I heard it all. Oh, wow. Well, you heard it here live, folks. Hagen did an experiment. She put some meat in the cooler. How long did you leave the meat in the cooler?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So
2 weeks.
she was in that cooler about 3 weeks, allegedly, if we're to believe that version. Very interesting. Hello, everybody in the chat. Thank you for joining me.
The only reason I stopped at 2 weeks is because I had to get the critters away from my house.
Oh, Lord have mercy. I think I'm
And
dead.
the smell was not as bad as when you opened it. When you opened it, it knocked you down, but there was an odor.
Okay. Okay. So you don't believe she knows where the child is, correct?
I don't know.
Okay, somebody in the chat says, who knows, maybe she's still protecting that sick man, Hippie says. She could be, and that's part of her holding on to the secret and a connection to him. I'll tell a little bit, he killed the kid, but I won't tell where he hid the body, hid the remains.
Unless she, in her crazy, twisted mind, still thinks that she's going to get out and
Exactly. So that's a valid point. I'll tell a little bit of the truth, but I won't tell everything.
Yeah, just enough so I can get out.
Yeah.
And I would think she would fare better sitting in jail.
You're crazy.
You know, she gets 3 hops in a car and medicine and everything.
Somebody says you do forensics, Pinto. Golly, I can't believe you just said it. I thought, what did she just say? She put meat in a cooler for 2 weeks. Oh my goodness. I'm dead. But I talk about this Harmony Montgomery case. I will always talk about this case in reference to child abuse and neglect and the state's faulty dealings with the people and the children, because it's a prime example of a child being thrown around like a rag doll and then ended up dead when people saw the signs and he was abused. This should never happen when you see it visibly. This is ridiculous to me, just ridiculous. And then you got this case over here in Knoxville where I live. Don't know why she would have killed this kid, but if you go deep in the belly of the beast, it could be just age old. I didn't want to be bothered with her. I didn't want to be bothered with the father anymore. She's a connection to this man that I'm sick of. So long as she's breathing, I've got a connection to this father.
Yeah.
And some people probably don't think that deep, but that's possibly why she got rid of the kid. Hey, it's so long as I got custody of this kid, I'm in cahoots with this father. I got to deal with this Negro. I don't want to deal with his black ass. But I got to because I got his kid. I get rid of the kid, I'm done with this black man.
Yes.
And I think she's dating some other black guy because I saw him in the courtroom, but somebody said he's new. I don't know where you all getting that from, that she's got a new man. But the point is, old man, new man, old shoe. What the fuck do you want with this baby killer? For what?
Exactly.
Why would you even want her?
Exactly.
He was there damn near every day. Today I looked in the courtroom, I didn't see him sitting behind her. But she's been free. Common sense will tell you for 4.5 years, she's still sucky, lucky, ucky, icky, licky, having sex.
Yes.
With somebody. No way I'm gonna believe she ain't been having no sex with no man. And she likes black men, which that's her preference, but damn. Imagine this boyfriend still hanging in there with her.
And I'm guessing that the toddler has not been with her, so she has been totally free.
Exactly. Free like OJ all day. Free like OJ all day.
We're not going into that.
Hey, pass me the orange juice, okay? She been free like OJ.
You must have quit.
Oh, and that's what she was thinking.
Yeah.
But let me ask you something. Do you think when she threw that gun outside, she was just in the moment, or she was planning this out, and or she's trying to set up that guy who had been buying pills from her? Because naturally, he touches that gun. 2, the police are going to be on the scene. What fool calls a person and say, hey, come get this gun from outside, knowing the police is on their way to your house? That sounds like a setup to me.
I don't know if it was a complete setup, but there's so much that's wrong with this. Like, she was sitting on the couch with the little girl laying on the couch, and she was not trying to perform CPR, compress any wounds, nothing.
But I ain't gonna say, but what do we always say? I ain't gonna say what I'm trying to get rid of. What am I saving her for? And I just shot her.
Yeah, but like, if you really wanted to make it look like you were a caring mother, you would have done something.
Oh, no, no. If I'm caring, I would have never shot her.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying in the case of it was an accident, my son did it.
Okay, I got you. Well, she's scared of blood. She likes to keep her nails done. As you see, she's sitting in court with her nails done. She's got hellified bags under her eyes. Homegirl looks old as you know what.
Yes, I think Karma is knocking at her door.
Well, and it should, because imagine she's really kid. Nobody killed the kid. No Gavin killed the kid. Mommy unalived the child for whatever reason. And she's sitting up here in court. I was stunned to see her on the witness stand. When I went into the YouTube queue, I said, oh, I got to go live with this because I knew it wasn't going to be on much longer. I said, oh, hell no. What the hell is she doing testifying? And she couldn't answer shit. I don't know. Well, I did it for my son. I don't want him to know he killed his sister. And that's why I said all those different versions. So basically she's saying, yeah, I lied on him. Look how bad he treated me. That shows you right there what she's capable of. I get it. You don't like the baby daddy. He's been mean to you. He's beat you up. But you're now saying, I'm willing to set him up for murder because of how he's mistreated me. That's deep as hell. Yeah. So what you have to tell yourself, if you're willing to lie and say he shot the child and your child is the original shooter, who's to say you didn't shoot the child and you just came up with any fishing attempt you could until you exhausted all measures? Because a lie is a lie.
Yes.
And that's what I'm seeing with her. You've lied so many times during interrogation. How are we supposed to believe that the little boy shot her? How do we know you aren't the one that shot the baby?
Well, not only that, there was residue on her clothes or hands or somewhere.
On her clothes.
From the shooting of the weapon.
So if you didn't offer mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, you didn't do the pump on the chest, then you possibly shot the baby. Because if you didn't hold her, hug her, kiss on her, baby wake up, run outside screaming with her, then you are the one that shot the kid. That's why the residue would be on your clothes.
Yes.
Wow. Because they said she was shot at point blank range.
And not only that, if she hugged her, tried to help her in any way, she would have bodily fluids or blood or whatever on her.
Yeah. Well, you gotta remember, she said, I didn't really see her in a little spot where she was shot. Wow. Just a little bit of blood. Okay.
So that means she did not render any aid to that baby at all.
I don't believe she rendered aid.
No.
I don't think she touched her. If she did, it was to finagle the how she laid, because you really don't know if she was lying down or sitting upright or halfway upright. But I did catch a bit of the forensics where the lady was saying she could have been laying, propped up, lying down. My thing is, we heard again from the district attorney that you when you heard the gunshot. So you see, now that's a whole different version of what we heard during interrogation and during the trial the past couple of days. It's just something new every time somebody talks.
Yes.
This is bad.
And see, that's the other problem with the Harmony Montgomery case. I believe if they find Harmony, that'll tell who, what, where, why, and how to some degree. Mm-hmm. And that's another reason why they will not, if nothing else, Adam will never tell.
No, he has no reason to tell. Because he knows I could easily get off the gun charges at some point. I could salvage a bit of life. That's all he's in there for, besides tampering with the body. And we also know you can only get a few years for that, perhaps, depending on the state laws. So he could just do a total of 20, 25. He'll still be decent enough to walk around, still be able to eat, drink, be married, have sex. See where I'm going?
Yeah.
Because he's not an older person.
But I still wouldn't let him. I wouldn't let him own a goldfish.
Well.
None of them.
Yeah. Well, somebody's going to have a couple of goldfishes here come May.
I know, right?
Yeah. She's got to live in a halfway house for what, 90 days? Then she's allowed to go out, perhaps, if they see fit to let her off into the world. But it's still a scary thought. She's still free, because even in a halfway house, you still can roam, go to work. It's still a scary thought.
Yes.
This is a very scary thought of Kayla Montgomery walking free.
Yes, and see, see now New York's doing where they're putting ankle bracelets on them and letting them free.
Yeah. I was gonna bring a live stream today, but this case, I had to cover this case, and then this new thing with Kayla. But I still want to do my Roe versus Wade, and this new bill passed in Kentucky. They can now charge you with child support even with the baby in the womb. Have you ever heard of such bullshit?
No, I have not.
How are you going to make somebody pay child support when you don't even know if that is their child? That is bullshit.
Yeah.
So I'll tie that into my Roe versus Wade, and then I'll get an update about the body parts in New York, because I got to see how that's going to fare. And then there was another story I wanted to bring about this mother who didn't want her son to marry this girl down in Mexico. It's a weird story. Got a lot of stuff, and it's hard to try to put it all.
I'm telling you.
Doing a live by live, it's easy to put like 2 topics in one if I can.
The evil is just spewing out.
Yeah. And then, Chris, he enlightened me the other night about the slumber party issue, debacle of the man trying to sexually assault the girls at the slumber party. Yeah, that's deep. I didn't know if I wanted to touch that or not, because it's kind of like these children cases, they're harrowing, because right now, that's another example. You were getting ready to assault some kids, and you're walking free, because this happened last summer. This is bad.
Yeah.
So, do you believe Kayla will abide by the regulations of parole, probation, stay clean, get a place to live happily ever after?
Maybe for a minute.
Okay. Do you think the mother will let her see the children?
I don't know. It all depends on what the rules, regulations are, but we know how people are, and I want to say no, but I feel like she would.
Because I won't doubt, what if they take the kids away? Well, look, what if they take the kids away from the mother? Okay, your daughter's getting out, we're taking the kids back. Imagine that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That would be deep.
Either that or they threaten to take her check away from them kids.
Yeah. Well, if they take the kids, she don't get a check. They're not going to just take the check. They take the check and the children, because the children are together.
Yeah.
But I'm wondering if they'll take the kids.
Go in and say, you let her see them, we're taking that check, because that's basically what I see the mom taking the 3 kids for. I mean, that's a lot. 3 kids.
And then she's older.
Yeah.
So how she's doing that with a job and all of that, very interesting. Very interesting.
I mean, I'm 44 and I can handle little kids for a small amount of time. Not that I'm going to be mean to them, but
well, it's a job raising children. Although we live in a world where people had numerous children, 10, 15, 20, that was a choice back in days when there was not birth control. But the point is, nowadays, it's just a lot going on. We do have more help as far as daycare and that, but you're talking about time, schedules, all of that. We're in a more modern world. It's just probably a little harder with a whole bunch of kids, and especially if you don't have help. There's no mom, there's no aunt, there's no mother-in-laws. You're going to have a lot on your hands being the only person providing for a children.
Yeah.
What about the older child? He's with the father and stepmother. Will he allow that boy child to see her? Very interesting. And how old is that kid, I wonder?
I want to say no. I think he's done. It would be smart for him to say no.
And that's why I'm curious to why they gave the mother custody of these kids, or fostering or whatever, knowing she had a chance to get out of prison. Maybe they did it at that time, but her 2-year stint's up, she's coming out of there. And she's going to need support from her mother. So how is she going to get support without seeing the kids? Unless her mother meets her somewhere. But then that means the mother has to meet her without the children if the state says she can't have access to the kids. But from my understanding, what was played in here, all this is transpiring in New Hampshire. Still, any decision to get custody of her kids again, or visitation rights. Should she even get visitation rights?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't think she should be able to even breathe the same air the children do, because you know what? You didn't save one, and you've lost custody of your others.
Yeah.
It's time for you to move on.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I don't think she needs to have access to her kids. I don't think she needs to bear any children. I don't think she needs to be in the custody of children. She doesn't need to be in the peripheral of children. She needs to get her life together, go to work, get a trade, and go do her thing. She can have all the sex she wants, minus children.
Exactly.
And you know, men are so desperate, they will be right there up her ass as soon as she gets out.
They better tie a knot in it.
Well, but some don't care. That's the point. Somebody will date her. Somebody will get her pregnant. It's the bottom line. You see it all the time. Women committing crimes, they get a man to follow right in behind them. They get love letters in jail, visits from men in jail, and blah, blah, blah. Same thing with women. The guys always got somebody right there, whether they're locked up in prison, jail, they get out, they got somebody to take care of them, ride them around, give them money until some shit jumps off. This, to me, will be no different.
Yeah.
She might end up finding her old sugar daddy. He don't care. So long as she's, you know, pretending she likes him, gives him a little sex, he's good to go. Do you think she will contact Adam?
She already knows she's not supposed to, but I'd say she would try to if she thought she could get away with it.
Maybe use an alias on the letter?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Or have someone else.
Okay. Okay. Do you think he'll respond knowing it's Kayla?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay.
I want to say probably.
Okay. All right. Anything else you'd like to say before I check out of here?
No, I think I'm good for the evening.
You didn't come on the P. Diddy live last night.
Oh, I went to bed early.
Boy, was that some information from Law and Crime. Yikes.
See, I'm still on the fence with it. Like,
I don't know. Some of that shit was wild. I just got a feeling that if nothing else, he's done some hard partying drugs, people procuring drugs. I believe all that. Was the son involved? Don't really know. But this guy, Lil Rod, I think he has had sexual relations with P. Diddy. And I think he's just upset about whatever the hell went down. But there's no way I'm going to continue to let a grown man grope a man. Number one, a heterosexual man. I'm a female, and I'm not getting to let some guy grope me because I'm helping him do favors for him, work for him. It's all the same to me. You know what you like and what you don't like. So you aren't interested in somebody sexually. Why would you keep letting them put their hands on you, touching your private parts? Why are you carrying drugs for them? See, it was a lot revealed. So he's just as guilty because he allegedly carried drugs for him. For what? Did you get a payment? So see, it's. I think he was down for the bullshit, and I think just something popped off between the two. He didn't get enough money from him for doing the music or whatever it is he was trying to procure from him, and he's now want to tell everything that was done behind closed doors, recordings, this, that, and the other. I think he's just a disgruntled ass man. But I do believe some of the allegations of the men parties, the innuendos, the sexual connotations, the conversations, the showing of porn, the showing of videos with sex of other people. Oh yeah, I think Puffy did all that.
well, see, the only thing that has me is the fact that in the first section where the woman put a case against him, he paid her off.
Cassie, yeah, that's the girl he dated for a while.
In this case, he's like, do what you gotta do.
But see, what I think of is the obvious. The allegations he's similar to what she alleged. So why would I think what he has to say isn't the truth? You understand what I'm saying? And I also feel like there was truth to what she said. That's why you paid her.
Yeah. Well, I believe there's some truth in the
all of the allegations.
But
what about the 19-year-old girl?
Why not cover this stuff with whatever he did the first one?
Well, he don't want to pay any more money because we don't even know how much he paid Cassie.
Yeah.
He was worth $1 billion in 2022. Naturally, people have pulled out and dealing with him, you know, companies, department stores, or school in New York. But he's not going to want to spend his wealth on lawsuits. But as the Law and Crime segment says, well, if you pay one, why not pay all the others? But the thing, you'll be paying a lot every other day because then that means somebody else will jump out the hat and say, oh, he did this to me. See what I'm saying? Anybody can just come forward and say, he touched me inappropriately. He sexually harassed me.
I understand that, but I'm sitting here going, okay, there might be some truth to what's going on, but I don't think it's as bad as whatever went on with the lady. So I'm like,
What do you mean?
if he really didn't want this to get out, he should have went ahead and paid them off. Like he did the first lady. I mean, a day after she brought the suit on,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, here, have my wallet.
Well, that's why
I'm just sitting here going.
Well, this is how I look at it. If you did it to her, you did it with others. See what I'm saying?
Well, yeah.
Because with R. Kelly, we found the same MO. He did the same domineering relationship, bringing in sex partners, blah, blah, blah. So that's the whole point. You do it with one, you do it with another. So if he did it with Cassie, he's done it with other people he's dated. He likes to intimidate people, threaten people, pull out weapons. So that's what I'm seeing with P. Diddy. It's the same Suge Knight, R. Kelly type mentality. I'm the big guy on the block. You're going to do what I say, and they're not going to be any repercussions because I'm famous, I got money, blah, blah, blah. I think he's a bully. I think he has threatened people, and it's just a matter of it getting out and who's going to tell the story. Now, naturally, some people aren't going to believe it, but I got a feeling he's done this, threatening people, bullying people. Cat Williams said he threatened him because he wanted to leave his party. Who threatens a person because they don't want to stay at your party? And Cat Williams is a little guy. Not to say he should be fearful because he's a small person, but think about it. He's up here looking at this guy, telling him, hey, I'm not interested in you. I'm not going to have sex. Who says that to a person? So this leads me to believe this is what's been going on at his white parties, in his house, in his peripheral. He likes men as well as women.
Yeah. Oh, I believe that.
And we know the deviant behavior will weigh higher.
Mm-hmm.
I won't doubt that he's been wanting to come out the closet, but he doesn't want people ostracizing him.
Yeah.
And then too many people, names have been mentioned in this commentary. Is Usher going to speak? Is that Jordan guy going to speak? Is that Aaron Hall guy going to speak? Young Miami and her assistant friend, sister, are they going to speak? Because their name's been brought out by this little rod person. He has literally thrown these people under the bus. So now we have to wait to see if they're going to respond to the allegations.
I don't think they'll respond unless there's actual proof or video or something.
Well, he says he's got proof. He says, I got audio, videos. He said Puff Daddy showed him a sex tape of that Jordan guy with another guy, basically baiting him like, hey, it's okay. He's done it. Here he is having sex with another man allegedly. Come on, join. Cuba Gooding Jr., he says he touched him. Yeah.
If P. Diddy showed him these things, but he did not record them.
Well, I'm telling you what he said.
I know.
I'm not saying he don't. I'm just saying allegedly he has audio and video.
Well, he might. This stuff has to come out at some
So that's
point.
my point of saying, if he has audio of anything nefarious, of threats, same old sex, same old, same party sex, other group sex, conversations of manipulation, connery, drug usage, selling of drugs, passing drugs, putting the drugs in people's drinks, P. Diddy and whoever else is in the videos, they're screwed.
Yeah.
They're screwed.
I think a lot of people are going to wait until the stuff comes out. They are implicated in this or in the videos or the audios before they say anything.
Yeah, because like I said, him throwing out these different names is dangerous. These people could actually hurt him. Send somebody to hurt him.
Yes.
Because R. Kelly did it. He used his henchmen to blackmail these women and threaten them. So I won't doubt Diddy might find somebody to try to find that boy and hurt him. And these other people, their names have now been mentioned. They might try to find somebody to hurt him. He's really crazy for throwing out these people's names.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
I think so.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up.
All right. I will talk to you later.
All right.
Good night.
You too. Thanks for joining me.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, everybody. That's Hayden from North Carolina. Thank you for joining me. This started out with a lie pertaining to Robin HOWINGTON, accused of killing her 5-year-old daughter. I believe this case is about to start wrapping up this week. The end of this week, Friday. It's tomorrow. Please check out the live stream. Start at the beginning of this live to go back to hear that case. Hear the detective's conversation that's already been released earlier. The second detective that testified today in court I wanted to do a separate video on that testimony because let me tell you, as I said, he gave that defense attorney the business. Second part of this live stream is pertaining to Kayla Montgomery. She is set to be released from prison in May of 2024. Don't have an exact date. Mentioned in his commentary, but the article said it didn't have an exact date. Don't know which one is which, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, the parole board is giving her a chance to get her life together. That's what you see in this second part of this live stream. It's a conversation between she and the members of the parole board. Will she change? Will she do better? Will she get off drugs? Will she stay clean? Will she have access to her children, visitation rights to her children? Her mother has her youngest children, and the baby daddy of the oldest child has him with that wife. Will they all let her see the kids? Will the state say, no, she has no access, no rights to children, period? What will happen? Why is the mother not having full custody adoption rights of the children? I find that strange. Will she go back in the belly of the beast and try to contact Adam Montgomery? Reply, respond to her. Stay woke. Will she remain clean out here on the street? That's what I'm curious about. And I'm also curious to why the parole board let her out. She should have done all 7 years for aiding Mr. Montgomery in the abuse and death of Harmony Montgomery. This is a slap in the face to the child, the justice system. So either way, the child has still failed miserably by the judicial process and also by the Department of Human Services. She's been failed. Even in death, she's still failed. And that's bad. That's really, really bad. She's not here to defend herself. She's not here to tell us what really happened to her in the custody of these people. And the fact that one of these MFs is getting ready to walk free, it's devastating to the spirit because Kayla needs to be locked up. Whether she knows what the child is or not, she will probably never tell it if she knew, and Adam's never going to tell it. Because that's the thing about a sadist, a psychopath, they have to hold something to the vest. They have to have one secret that nobody has access to. And that's their right not to tell. You don't have to agree with it, but that's their little secret. I know where she is. You will never know. And I ain't never going to tell it. I'm taking it to the grave. And that's what he's going to do. I will put up a community page similar to what was put up during this live stream so other people can take the polls. Feel free to vote again if you like. Like, share, subscribe, drop your comments below this live stream. Check my community page for updates, breaking news, commentary. Know that I do not cover all cases of breaking news, but I pick and choose to share. And sometimes I'll put things on the post that I'm not covering, but just to let you know, I know about the case. I may do a case rendition pertaining to the slumber party of the man trying to assault his daughter's friends, because I still got stuff on the backlog to bring to you this week, and this week is almost out. And I still haven't brought you the abortion video, Roe versus Wade, law passed in Kentucky, saying that a person can be sued for monies of an unborn child, which is the stupidest law I've ever heard. Stupidest law I have ever heard. And I don't know how that's going to work. Because a woman could have slept with 2 guys in a week, 3 guys in a week. And she says, oh, Pookie's the baby daddy. But how do we know it's Pookie's baby? Could be Ray Ray, could be Bubba, could be Antoine. And she decides to pick one out the group to say, oh, daddy, tells the social worker he's the daddy or whomever, and now somebody's going after this guy for money and the baby's not even here. How does that make any fucking sense? This is what happens when you live in hillbilly states. This is the dirty South, and this is how these officials run the states. Old hillbilly mentality. This is not right. To make somebody pay child support and they don't even have a DNA test. And it also states the person, the male, would have to pay up to a year. I believe they said that up to a year. I'll bring you the information so I can make everything properly, but this makes no sense to me. I've heard a lot of foolishness. This is crazy to me. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much. I meant to bring you commentary the past couple of days, but Monday and Tuesday, I just was out of it. And so that's why I didn't go live those days. So forgive me. So as I said, I've got a backlog of stuff to bring to you. You may see at least 2 titles in a live as to cut down my streaming time. This is a long-winded live, so dissect it the best that you can. Thank you so much for joining me. Hello, Cindy. Oh, you are welcome, sweetheart. I'll be back with more commentary pertaining to trial tomorrow, pertaining to this crazy bat out of Knoxville, Tennessee, where I am, Robin Howington. Where does she live? Is she still in the Knoxville area? Is she back up east? Kingsport, Tennessee, somewhere up there? Does she work? Is she still selling drugs? How about, and is she still with the same guy she was dating at the time? I'm curious. Because some black guy was sitting behind her in court this week, faithfully. Well, one thing we know, if he was there supporting her as a boyfriend, the kitty cat must be really, really nice. Shut up, Angela. I said that. Sorry about that. Need to mind manners. The kitty cat must be awfully nice. Even if it's not the same guy. Come on. What do you want with a baby killer? I'll wait. Dear God, you gotta be kidding me. Just, you can't make this stuff up. Love you too, honey. If you'd like to donate to this great network, $sign Leandrew, 129 Cash App. Stickers and chats are always welcome during the live. Thank you all so much. I will try to get back on before the weekend is out to finish off this information about this baby on a live here in Knoxville, Tennessee by Robin Howington. Dissect the other detectives' commentary and bring you other updates pertaining to Long Island, New York. 4 people were arrested. They have been released. Supervised provisions, ankle monitors. There's also been a shooting. I believe it's in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. I saw that in a news break. I will post those things to my community board if I don't discuss them during a live stream. That's just that information. Yeah, kitty cat. Kitty cat must be real nice. Because if she's with the old one, he's crazy. And whoever she's got now, if he's new, he's crazy too. Because what the hell would you want with her? I'm just saying. Ain't no way. I'm not getting ready to be with nobody accused of murdering no kid. Ain't no way. Hell to the no. I'm out of here. You will listen to yourself. Thank you.